about you shut the f up? I'm doing Lou too, bitch! Good morning. Yep, it's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou. Live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And guess what? I will argue with anyone about anything. Doesn't matter what it is to me. You want to argue? That's all y'all want to do is argue all the time. Let's argue. I will argue with anyone about anything. Argue with me. Bama's not going 15-0. That's ridiculous. How long has Saban been there? You have one undefeated season? Put the pipe down, sir. You're not going 15-0. Phantom Menace is better than Force Awakens or Last Jedi. Huh? Sir, Phantom Menace is one of the worst Star Wars movies of all time. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I like every movie, even the Phantom Menace. But it's widely known that that's a terrible movie. Jar Jar Binks almost single-handedly destroyed the entire Jedi universe with his idiocy, sir. Does someone, if you want to call, if you'd rather call in and argue, then call. You can call and argue. If you'd rather call and argue, then yeah, call and argue. Whatever you feel like you need to do. Jeremy Pasta, thank you, sir. Tom Brady is an average QB at best. Sir, that's ridiculous. Tom Brady is clearly the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. I was a Joe Montana guy. I grew up in the Joe Montana era. I thought he would always be the greatest quarterback of all time. I fought the whole Brady is the GOAT thing for years and years. There's no denying it anymore. The guy just keeps getting better. He's 79 years old. He's still making and winning Super Bowls on a consistent basis. It doesn't matter what wide receivers they give him. The guy's had basically trash and leftover parts and pieces and junk around him for the majority of his career at New England. Randy Moss is the best wide receiver he had, and he had Randy Moss at the end of Randy Moss's career when he was a shell of his old self. Wes Welker, oh, Wes Welker was great. Yeah, when he was in New England, goes to Denver, can't catch a pass. Danny Amendola, yeah, right. The guy's 5'0" nothing, 100 and nothing. He's Rudy, but you put him with Tom Brady, and the guy looks like an all-pro. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, period. Drew Brees is not the greatest quarterback of all time. Drew Brees is the greatest quarterback of all time under 6'2". Jordan Tamu is the best QB in the SEC, bar none. Sir, 8 out of 10 people don't know who the hell that is. Therefore, it's impossible for him to be the best anything. Bama won't win it again this year. Repeating is hard to do even for Bama. Not happening this year. Yeah, according to Vegas, you were supposed to beat Auburn last year too. So Vegas isn't an indication of who's going to win the game. Vegas is an indication on who people are betting on, sir. Tim Tebow or David Pollock. In what? A wrestling match? What? Golf? What? Clemson or Ohio State? I got to go with the last thing I saw, and that would be Clemson. Didn't they beat Ohio State 31-0 or something? Jeremy, if you're still there too, the jersey giveaway is still going on too. So you got yourself 2 entries into the jersey giveaway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every dollar you donate to the UNCLELOU show gets your name entered in a drawing to give a jersey away. We'll probably do that Thursday. Will probably be the last day for the jersey giveaway, just so everyone is aware. So you'll have today, tomorrow's call-in show, and then Thursday night show if you want to get in on that jersey giveaway. That'll be it. Whoever just called, call back. I wasn't paying attention. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Okay, now I just donated $2, and I just need you to go ahead and confirm my opinion that Tom Brady is not the best quarterback of all time. He's just a game manager. That's all I have to say on this subject. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the $2. Already straightened you out in that regard, though. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. So I'm sorry to disagree with you, but I do appreciate the $2, and you are entered in the jersey giveaway. Stay tuned for that. Tennessee basketball is not going to the Final Four this upcoming season. No, that's ridiculous. They haven't won the SEC since the 1970s. They've never made a Final Four, and it's not happening this year. Hold on, I'll try to put the number up on the screen. People keep asking for the number. Let me see if I can pull it up on the screen here. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yo, Lou. It's March Fox. I'm back, man.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
You tell me.
It's been upon weeks. Dude, I've been so busy, as you know, very busy and important. But anyway, I want to talk to you about this, Lou, because you pissed me off with it. Stop hating on Mark Richt. Stop it. What are you doing?
What? Listen.
Why do you hate on Mark Richt?
Listen.
Star Wars sucks, by the way.
Listen. If I lay out the facts of Mark Richt and you take that as hating, then that means the facts lend themselves to the fact that Mark Richt is terrible.
What's wrong with being religious, Lou? You always make fun of him being too religious. What's wrong with that?
It has nothing to do with winning football games, sir. That's like saying, we got blown out by Bama, but Mark Richt has the best yard in the neighborhood. Well, it doesn't matter. One has nothing to do with the other, sir. It doesn't matter whether he's a great Christian man, a terrible Christian man, a great Muslim man. None of that matters. We're talking about winning football games here.
No, listen. I don't think he brought Georgia back. They were awful in the 90s. And
brought them back from what, sir? Jim Donnan won 10 games, sir. Jim Donnan won 10 games. Look, listen. I appreciate. Hey, Mark Richt. Thank you, Mark Richt, for winning an SEC title 13 years ago. Thank you. I honestly appreciate that. I honestly appreciate it.
Georgia got robbed in 2002 of a national title. What, they go 13-1 and they didn't get into the national title?
Well, that's what happens when there's two other undefeated teams, sir. I agree. Georgia was a great team this year, and the issue's not 2002. If Mark Richt would have won a natty in either 2002, 2005, 2007, 2008, or 2012, which we had a team good enough all 4 of those years to win a natty. Had he capitalized one time, he'd still be coaching in Athens, sir. But he didn't, so he ain't.
Aaron Murray literally threw an out route inbounds to Chris Conley when he knew we had no timeout. Is that Mark Richt's fault? Was he out there throwing that ball?
Mark Richt called the play, sir. Mark Richt called the play. Aaron Murray wanted to spike the ball and draw up a play. Richt said, no, run this play. The ball got tipped. You want to relitigate every one of Mark Richt's losses, sir? Okay, 2012. Okay, that's not Mark Richt's fault. Okay, what about 2008 Alabama? What happened there, sir? 2008, Alabama were ranked #1 in the nation. We come out and get outscored 35-0 before they even do the damn coin toss. Whose fault was that?
dude. All right, listen.
2015, Alabama in Athens in the rain. We had a top 5 team in the nation. We come out and go down 28-0 to Alabama for no reason. Whose fault was that, sir?
What?
2007, we had the best team in America. We lost to a 500 South Carolina team and didn't even win the East. Why?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. I know you don't. The point is, had he capitalized on one of those 4 years, he'd still be coaching there, but he didn't. It takes a good team, good coaching, and good luck to win a national title, okay? We had a good team. There were some years we had good coaching, and there were some years we had good luck. He was there for 16 years, and he wasn't able to do all 3 things in the same season, and now he's in Miami, period. If he's as good as you think he is, he'll win a bunch of national titles at Miami.
Those seniors were Mark Richt's players.
What does that matter, sir? Yeah, those seniors were Mark Richt's players, and he was winning 9 games a year with them, sir. He was winning 9 games a year with those players, sir. You know who else were Mark Richt's players? Joe Cox, Grayson Lambert, Hudson Mason, Joe Tereshinski III.
We didn't have any quarterbacks.
Why?
Really
Why, sir? Clemson had one. Clemson had one.
If we had a quarterback the last couple years, we would have won the national title.
Why didn't we? Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Is that Aaron Murray's fault for throwing an out route with 4 seconds to go? Is that why we didn't have a quarterback? We had quarterbacks, sir. We had quarterbacks. After Aaron Murray, we had plenty of quarterbacks. We had Faton Balta, Hudson Mason, Grayson Lambert. I mean, the list goes on and on, sir. We had plenty. Are you saying they weren't any good?
No, they weren't any good. Grayson Lambert, yeah, what a quarterback. Oh, dude, transfer from Virginia. What a great quarterback.
Yeah, and well, who brought all those quarterbacks in, sir? Bryce Ramsey.
What?
Listen, Mark Richt recruited the world's only 5-star punter, Bryce Ramsey. I mean, what are you even saying, sir? You're proving my point here. While we had Grayson Lambert, listen to me, son. Listen to me. While we were busy watching Hudson Mason, Bryce Ramsey, Faton Balta, and Grayson Lambert, while we were busy watching them, Clemson was busy watching Deshaun Watson win a national title. Okay?
Yeah, because how good Deshaun Watson was.
Right, and and what did we tell him? What did we tell Deshaun Watson when he was in high school? What did we tell him?
No clue.
You don't know?
What did we tell him? Don't come to Georgia. What?
Yeah, we told him he wasn't good enough to play quarterback in the SEC. Where have you been, son? Where have you been? Where were you when Mark Richt was recruiting Cam Newton to play tight end, sir? Where were you?
Dude, I have no clue. I wasn't keeping up with Georgia at that time.
Well, if you were, you would know why Mark Richt is gone, sir. We recruited Cam Newton as a tight end and then watched him win a national title with Auburn. We recruited Derrick Henry and told him he'd have to play linebacker and then watched him break records and win a national title at Alabama. We recruited Deshaun Watson and told him he could return punts, sir. We told Deshaun Watson he would be the greatest punt returner in Georgia history, sir. That's what we told Deshaun Watson, sir.
What was the tight? Cam Newton was never a tight end. What are you talking about?
We recruited Cam Newton as a tight end, sir.
When the heck do we do that? You know what, Lou?
This isn't breaking news, man. This isn't even fake news or alternative facts. I mean, this is just the reality. This is just the reality that we're in, dude.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question though?
Star Wars stuff.
What was the weak link at Miami last year? Since I mean, I know you know your football, so what was the weak link at Miami last year? Huh?
I know more than you.
Okay, well then explain to me what the weak link was at Miami last year.
What happened last year? Let's see. They didn't have a quarterback.
Thank you. Ding! We have a winner! Why not?
They started the year 10-0, and they got lazy that last game against Pitt. I think Miami's going to be a good team. I think they could beat Clemson.
No doubt.
I think they're the only team that could
listen,
beat
no doubt Miami's going to be a good team. No doubt, sir. No doubt.
I think they could get like 11-1 or something like that.
And then what?
You know what? I think they have a chance against Clemson.
Man, get out of here, dude. Malik Rozier is a.
Get out of here.
Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself.
What? It's my prediction. What do you mean listen to myself? It's my own opinion. I think Miami's going to prove a lot of people wrong.
With Malik Rozier, same quarterback you said you just got done telling me was terrible last year.
He was a freshman.
No, he wasn't, sir.
I'm pretty sure he was a freshman.
Tell me more about how you know more about football than me.
How am I supposed to explain that?
By telling me how Malik Rozier was a freshman last year.
I'm sorry, Lou. I focus on Miami like that.
Oh. Well, okay, so you
Lou,
focus on Georgia.
Tomorrow.
Huh?
I'll talk some more sense into you. I'll talk some more sense into you tomorrow in the call-in show. All right, Lou?
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the call. And everything. Malik Rozier was a junior, for Christ's sake. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, and I'll argue with anybody about anything.
Hey, I would just like to point out that Kirby Smart is 0-1 in national championship games, and Mark Richt is undefeated. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Yep. And you're 100% correct. Mark Richt is undefeated in national championship games, and I am convinced that he will stay that way permanently. So I unfortunately I cannot argue with you there. But yeah, Mark Fox knows more about me than college football, but Malik Rozier was a freshman last year, though. Meanwhile, he was a junior. He'll be a senior this year, but anyway. I guess that's neither here nor there for the purposes of this conversation. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. It's been a while. It's Squidtard.
What's up, Squidtard?
All right. I got a couple of things to talk about. So first of all, Squidtard deserves 1,000 subscribers. Hands down, best YouTube channel of all time. I work too hard on my stuff. Okay, but
yeah.
Enough of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was listening to one of your live shows. It was about like the ultimate troll. It was you arguing him about Auburn or something. But he was arguing about that he has to play Alabama every year. And you're like, oh, you stupid Auburn and Voltard fan. And I was like, wait, Tennessee? I'm just gonna say something. I've never heard a Tennessee fan complain about playing Alabama every year.
Well, if you've never heard it, then if you've never heard it, then it's never happened, obviously. So, is that what you're saying?
I can show you. There is a clip. I'll have to look it up, but there is a clip in one of your videos of you saying, all these stupid Baltard fans arguing about, we gotta play Alabama every year, and I can.
Yeah, I hear it every day, sir. I mean, just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, sir. I don't, this is, I don't know, I don't know any other way to tell you, but there are things that have happened and things that have been said that you're unaware of.
Okay, fair enough, but I've looked on Twitter, I've looked all over the internet, and I've never heard a Tennessee fan just go, we gotta play Alabama every year. Not even like the comment section.
Well,
but then again, there are a lot of trolls in the comment section going, he's talking about Tennessee. Like all these trolls just come out from under the bridge.
And
just a minute ago, when you were talking about Mark Richt in Miami, who is directly unrelated to the SEC. These trolls are still talking about Tennessee going, they're the Kansas of the SEC and whatnot.
Well, they are. Well, I mean, you would agree with that, no?
Tennessee being the Kansas of the SEC?
Yes, currently.
Okay, yeah, because they would.
How many teams went?
Last for long though.
But how many teams went winless in conference play last year?
sure.
Well, I know of one that did.
Wait, really?
Tennessee.
Oh, well, yeah, Tennessee. But
Yeah.
Tennessee. I thought you were talking about 2016. My bad. Okay. Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah. So.
That won't happen again, though. It won't.
Well, you better start game planning for Vandy now. If I was Jeremy Pruitt, that's what I would do. I wouldn't worry about Georgia or Alabama or South Carolina or Auburn or any of these other teams that you've got no chance to beat. I would spend the entire year preparing for the Vanderbilt game.
Let me correct you on that point there. I'm just going to say something. We don't have a chance against Auburn. Nobody beats Auburn at home. We don't have a chance against Alabama just because of the reason they're Alabama. But I feel like this year we're finally going to beat Will Muschamp. I feel it.
Well, remember when you told me that you've never seen anybody say you've never seen a Tennessee fan say that the schedule isn't fair? So therefore no one's ever said it. Well, I've never seen Tennessee beat Will Muschamp, so therefore it can't happen. You see what I did there?
Maybe, but still, I just see it happening because
you have to play in Columbia. Forget about your road games, buddy. Buddy, forget about you have to play in Columbia. Forget about that game, okay? Listen, Uncle Lou's trying to help you. Listen, I love my Tennessee fans. I love my Tennessee fans. Start preparing now for the Vanderbilt game.
Okay. We won't beat South Carolina according to you, all right? All right. Okay, then. So, we still have Florida, Kentucky, Missouri, Vanderbilt. We're going to beat Florida.
No.
I'm just saying, we're going to beat Florida.
No.
All you Florida fans in the comment section going, we're going to beat Florida.
We'll see if we can get a Florida fan that's got the balls to call in or the brains to figure out how to work a phone. We'll see if we can get a Florida fan to call in and argue that point. I will admit that's I think Florida wins that game, but I will say I'm less confident in you losing to Florida than I am in you losing to most other teams you play. So.
All right, think about it like this, Lou. So they have Dan Mullen now at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen was like the king of home games. He could win all the home games except for Alabama, but outside of that, he was garbage. Georgia beat the ever-loving crap out of them. I'm just saying, Dan Mullen's now at Florida, can't win games that aren't at home. He's playing at Tennessee this year, so I just think Tennessee is going to beat Florida. All right? All right,
well.
the Vandy game. Not really sure about that one because, like, you got to see how good they are. Like, that West Virginia game, it'll prove a lot. I have West Virginia as a toss-up right now. I know you're gonna be like, but West Virginia's got a really good offense.
Yeah, you're not scoring. You're not scoring enough points to beat West Virginia. So.
No, I could see it though because I remember you saying like no Big 12 teams have a good defense. Not even West Virginia. Like their defense is just not. It's just awful.
That is for the most part true. Yes. Yeah.
So it'll just be like an offensive game. Tennessee, I think West Virginia's gonna score at least. I'm just saying at least 5 or 6 touchdowns against Tennessee. Our defense is just.
It's possible, sir. Yeah.
If I had to give a win-loss record right now, I'd say 7-5 or 8-4. I know it sounds crazy to you, but I just think that's how it's going to be. I get it. We went 4-8 last year, and all these people that aren't Tennessee fans are thinking, "Oh, but Tennessee can't win no games. They're going to be lucky to get to a bowl game this year."
If Tennessee goes 8-4, I'll get a Tennessee tattoo.
Then be prepared to get one. You're going to be surprised.
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me 6 games you think Tennessee can win.
All right, here we go. Well, there's 2 high school teams going to beat those. Actually, there's three. Let's see. We're going to beat Florida. That's 4. We're going to beat Kentucky, 5. And then Vandy or West Virginia. That's 6, 7, and then there's Missouri. So that's around 7 to 8 wins right there.
God bless you.
Well, I'll stop talking and leave it to the Florida fans to try and say Tennessee's gonna lose so bad against Florida. All right.
Hey.
Good talking to you, Lou.
Hey, what new videos you working on?
Did you see the Couch Coach video?
Yes. And then I saw the one video that was just me breaking a TV, but it was warped though.
Yeah, I got lazy.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Sometimes you just
I'm trying to,
that's like a hashtag when you just want to upload something.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I'm trying to break my channel slowly away from like just posting Uncle Lou stuff, because if I want to grow, it's going to be a lot harder to if I'm just posting about like Uncle Lou videos. But I'll still make videos based on you.
Yeah, don't forget about the little
don't know,
people. Don't forget about the little people like Uncle Lou that really gave you your start, though.
Yeah.
And
Over football season, though, I'm going to have Uncle Lou Escapes from the Fifth Dimension. It's going to be the sequel to Uncle Lou Escapes from the Fourth Dimension.
I'm writing this. Hold on, I'm writing this down because I cannot wait. All right, Squid. Thank you, buddy.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Good talking to you.
You too, buddy. Yeah, that was moderator extraordinaire Squidtard calling to check in with us here live, also in 2 on the Uncle Lou show too. Which was great. So yeah, thank you. 706-510-6817. I will argue with anyone about anything. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
I'm going to tell you why Florida will beat Tennessee.
Man, it's you again. Go ahead. Tell us.
First of all, Tennessee has Big J. And Tennessee will lose because they have Big J.
School's out. You know what I mean? School's out. This is what happens. School's out, and this is what happens.
I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off.
Good morning, this is Uncle Lou here, and I will argue with anyone about anything.
Hey, what's up, Uncle Lou? It's a man thanks in the comments. I'm the one shit posting about Auburn.
What's up?
I'm here to argue on the behalf of the whole of the SEC that Tennessee fans need to shut the hell up about beating Vanderbilt and beating Florida. He is the person above me is a retard. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
What did he say?
Florida has way too much talent to lose to Tennessee. Way too much.
I would tend to agree with that assessment. And a better coach also, and too.
Yeah, also, do you think Mississippi State is a dark horse contender for the SEC in general?
You know, I think Mississippi State can be a good team. I really do. My concern, I would feel a lot better about Mississippi State if they wouldn't have got blown out so many times last year. I do like Nick Fitzgerald, and I could see Mississippi State being maybe the second, but probably the third best team in the West. I mean, they did play Alabama tough last year, but they got absolutely obliterated by Georgia. They got absolutely obliterated by Auburn. And I like the coach they brought in, but there's always a little bit of change when you bring a new coach in, and you never really know how a team's going to respond to that. So it would be hard for me to pick them to win the West. But the thing about the West is, and you said a dark horse to win it, any team you pick really in the West, not named Alabama, is a dark horse every year. Even Auburn, and you know, as much as hell as I give Auburn, they're a pretty good team, but I mean, Alabama's just dominated for so long that anybody other than Alabama that you pick really would be a dark horse. But I don't know. I have some question marks about Mississippi State. But you asked about Florida earlier too. I do think that the funniest loss all year in the SEC will be Florida losing at Mississippi State. That will be hilarious.
That would be
for
hilarious.
obvious reasons.
He's a Florida man, Lou!
Now, I know you dislike Auburn, but what do you think? A really, let's say everything goes our way. What do you think the best record we could have is? And you can throw in a loss there because we played Georgia and Alabama. Both on the road.
I don't think you're winning either. You're not winning either of those games. I think Georgia and Alabama both have better coaches. I think Georgia and Alabama both have better players, and you play them both on the road. And you guys have struggled on the, or not you guys, but Auburn has struggled on the road. All 4 losses last year were on the road. You lost at LSU, you lost at Clemson, you lost at Atlanta, and you lost at the one-armed man. You're not beating Georgia or Alabama.
Well, those are neutral sites. Auburn struggled after the SEC championship game because they were ranked number 2 nationally, about to make a playoff spot as this only 2-loss team, and they beat 2 number 1 teams in the span of 3 weeks. What would you do? You just got blown out by Georgia, passing the ball.
I know. I get that, and that would be a legitimate excuse for Auburn if they ever won a bowl game besides that, but they don't. Gus Malzahn is 1-4 in bowl games, okay? He's only won 1 bowl game the entire time he's been at Auburn, and that was a Birmingham Bowl. So he's never won a bowl game outside the state of Alabama, and it's not because every single year he's ranked 2nd in the country and beating at Georgia and Alabama and 2 number 1 ranked teams and then disappointed that they have to play Central Florida in the Peach Bowl. So that excuse would be a lot easier to take if you weren't terrible every other bowl game you've played under Gus Malzahn too.
Well, I can understand your argument for the 1-3 in those bowl games, but this we shouldn't have lost UCF. They don't have as much talent as us. Hell, their coach might be better than ours, but we had better talent. That makes no sense.
Can I ask you something? This is a serious question too. Someone told me this the other day. I thought I was getting trolled. Turns out I wasn't. I looked it up, and this is true. Now, I knew Kerryon Johnson struggled at the combine, the NFL combine. He only had like 12 or 13 reps on the bench press. You know, Sony Michel, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley were doing 26, 27, 28. Kerryon Johnson only had 12. Someone told me, and I thought they were trolling me. I looked it up. They weren't. Are you sitting down for this?
Do I need to be?
You might, because the one-armed man, sir, had more bench press reps than carry-in luggage.
Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt a lot.
And I thought I was getting trolled. I wasn't getting trolled. I looked it up. It's 100% real. The guy from Central Florida with one arm did more bench press reps than carry-in luggage. Can you explain that?
What?
Yes, it's true.
What?
I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know if he had like some kind of Oscar Pistorius arm. I don't know. I don't know.
What? The reigning SEC Offensive Player of the Year benches less than a dude with no hands.
I don't know what they're doing in the barn. I mean, I couldn't believe it either. Like I said, I had to look it up, sir, but it's true.
Okay, now let's argue. This has been agreeing a little too much.
Yeah, let's
argue.
argue.
Say a highly controversial statement.
Okay.
I think Auburn has a very good shot of winning the national championship and beating Georgia and Alabama on the road. But one of two things has to happen. One, Jarrett Stidham actually wins the Heisman, and I'm putting no Heisman hope on him because John Franklin III, Shaun White,
Jeremy Johnson.
Name any Auburn. Yeah, thank you. Jeremy Johnson. I give him little to none credit. I think Drew Locker and Nick Fitzgerald are better.
Okay.
But, or their running game is so unstoppable that Nick Saban and Georgia get blown the fuck out. So
Yeah.
take your pick.
Well, yeah, but you know, all your running backs are gone. I know you got 7 or 8 running backs, but you got 7 or 8 running backs every summer, and then one of them gets hurt in November and you can't get a first down. That's likely to happen again. Here's my best, trying to be honest about Auburn prediction. I think if you beat Washington week 1, you might can go 10-2 or 9-3. If you lose to Washington week 1, I think you go 7-5 or 8-4.
Oh, that's a question. I think if Auburn wins at Washington, who else do they play? They play, the only, relatively strong person they play is Mississippi State. And they have a new coach. Sure, it might be on the road, but if anything was last year, I think Auburn goes undefeated into the Georgia game.
Yeah, well, you could if you beat Washington, that could happen. I mean, you got to play the Corn Dogs, but you get them in Auburn, I think, because I think it was at LSU last year when you choked away that huge lead, right?
Yeah, it was at LSU.
So you get them at home, so that's probably winnable. I don't know where you play Texas A&M at, but honestly, I don't think it matters. I think you're more talented than Texas A&M, and with them bringing Jimbo Fisher in, I was never sold on him to start with, and so this is his first year at Texas A&M. It's going to take him a couple of years to acclimate, I think. Got to think he probably win that one. Ole Miss, no one even remembers they have a team. Arkansas, I do like Chad Morris, but they're 3 or 4 years away from probably being anything meaningful or relevant. So I would agree with you that if you beat Washington, you probably have a good chance of being 8-0 when you play, or 9-0, whatever it is, when you play Georgia.
Now, I don't know how competitive the two games are. The Iron Bowl and the Deep South Bowl is rivalry. I hope they're, because I'm wasting money going to both of those games. I'm going to Athens. I'm going to Tuscaloosa to watch.
Not a waste of money, sir.
If we win, well, see, I live in a town called Washington, right next to Athens, and it's I've always wanted to go to Stanford Stadium because I've heard it's very nice, but I always go to Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
You know, we take our shoes off and drink coffee. But do you think it'll be as competitive, or do you think it will just be a big blowout?
How about I don't know. I think it'll probably be a close game.
So you're saying there's a chance for us to win?
There's always a chance, sir. I mean, hell, anything can happen. Look at last year's Georgia-Auburn game.
Okay. You're at Jordan Hare. When Auburn is legit, they are practically unbeatable at home. They are like Miami, and Miami had 30 years where they didn't lose a single damn home game. Now that shows some commitment.
Yeah, but of course Miami was full of cheaters, drug dealers, and gang members. Now you've got the drug situation locked down there at Auburn. You got that going for you. I don't think you have any rappers. I don't think you have any rappers propping up your program like 2 Live Crew or anything like that. I don't think you have any Nevin Shapiro. I don't know who the drug dealer is. I just know who the users are. Kyle Davis. I mean, the list goes on. I don't want to name them here. You know who they are, sir. Shaun White. Okay, Shaun White. Does that ring a bell? Kyle Davis. Where's he at? No one knows. Asleep next to a curb somewhere, maybe. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Great. No, be about it, other than saying that Georgia is going to lose to South Carolina. And you know it's true, Uncle Lou, so just don't argue with me.
Wouldn't you're trying to trigger me by talking about South Carolina. I see what you did there, and I will. That was a good try, and it almost worked. But thank you for the call, and good luck to your Auburn Tigers this season, except for when they play at Georgia. Thanks for the call, buddy. That was a good call there. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's ever called in before, sir. That was great. I hope you can call in again. You seemed like you knew what you were talking about. You spoke clearly. People could probably even understand what you were saying. And it didn't seem like you were drooling all over yourself during the entire phone call, which is something we're not entirely used to here on the Uncle Lou Show. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. I will argue with anybody about anything.
What's up, Lou?
Hey, what's up?
John Waters here, and I have a very unpopular opinion about Will Muschamp.
All right, let me ask you a question real quick, because I noticed this last time you called, and I'm not gonna give out anything here, but
All right.
I have city ID when you call, and do you or do you not live in a major college football town nowhere near the University of Florida? I'm not gonna say what it is, and you don't have to either, but it's. Or are you spoofing a number?
I know what it is.
Okay.
I used to live there, yeah.
Okay.
I used to live there.
Did you ever go to any games
it was
there?
Okay until,
huh?
You go.
Did you ever go to any games there?
No.
Okay.
Playing on two during the 2012 season, but that's when the Notre Dame fans started kind of getting cocky and annoying. I could not stand them after they were 7-0.
I'll
We
probably
could beat any SEC team.
I'll probably go to my grave regretting not going to that Georgia game there. That was probably like a once in a lifetime thing, and I wasn't able to do it. I'd love to see. I've talked about this a couple of times, but I have like a bucket list of stadiums that I'd love to see a game in. Like no matter who's playing, I want to see a game in these 10 stadiums or whatever, and this stadium is on that list, and I hate myself for not being able to go last year. But,
yeah, I heard it's a great stadium.
Yeah. But anyway, what's going on today? What do you want to argue about today?
Will Muschamp, okay. So at one point, Lamar Jackson had Florida as his favorite team to go to at one point, like during his recruiting process, until Muschamp got fired. So what I'm saying is, Florida would have probably gotten to the college football playoff under Will Muschamp if they would have got Lamar Jackson.
Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, that's what's fun, especially during the offseason, to play these what-if games. I mean, Lord knows Georgia plays them all the time. What if we would have got Deshaun Watson and not let Clemson get him? What if we would have got Cam Newton? What if – I mean, so these games are fun to play. There's no proving anything one way or the other, of course. I mean, you look at your two recent trips to Atlanta. You had zero rushing yards. You had zero rushing yards combined in those two games and blowout losses to Alabama. Now, Bama has had trouble in the past with runaround quarterbacks. So, could that have been enough to make up the difference? It's possible. Now, last year, I don't think it would have mattered last year, to be honest. Y'all just fell apart. I mean, too much of your team was suspended. But the 2 years before, had you had Lamar, I don't think there's any question about it. You would have been a better team with Lamar Jackson than you were with Felipe Franks or Trayon Harris or any of those type of guys. No question about it. No, I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, Lamar Jackson just got drafted in the NFL. You know, Trayon Harris and Felipe Franks will be, you know, selling used cars here pretty soon. So no question you would have been way better with Lamar Jackson. Now, whether or not you would have won a national championship, you know, that's impossible to say one way or the other. But I will agree with you that no doubt you would have been a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, but he might not have been as good as he was with Louisville because we had Doug Nussmeier as the offensive coordinator. Like, Christ. Thank God he's gone, though.
Yeah.
I think Dan Mullen can, like I said the last time, he can get Emory Jones going. I think they can be lethal.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while, like, as a Georgia fan, like, my biggest fear with Florida would be that Emory Jones figures it out and can complete passes this year. Because I mean, he's a hell of an athlete. We know he can run around and all that, but that's not enough at the college level. I mean, you've got to have the passing part down. And from everything I've heard and read, and including from a lot of Florida fans, he's just not ready yet with the passing part. Now, that doesn't mean he won't get there by this season, whether it's first week, halfway through, whatever. That doesn't mean he won't get there, but I mean, as a Georgia fan, I hope Dan Mullen feels like he has no choice but to play Felipe Franks.
Yeah. I mean, Felipe can kind of run. It's just he looks so awkward doing it, but, I mean, it might kind of work out with his running ability.
Yeah. What about, have the guys been staying out of trouble down there so far during the off season?
A little bit, yeah. Not as much.
Yeah, Georgia had one get in some trouble here a week or so.
Yeah, it's kind of like Georgia's kind of getting there, like Urban Meyer's teams were, because that was horrible back then. Everybody was getting arrested except for Tebow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Now, from what I hear, you say Florida's at best is going 8-4. Is that right?
Florida?
Yes.
Well, obviously, I mean, I'm biased. I know, but I don't. I think Georgia's a better team than Florida, so I'm gonna assume Florida loses that game.
Obviously, Georgia.
Now, I think LSU could go either way. Honestly, the Mississippi State, I've been talking a lot of trash about the Mississippi State game. Really what it is about the Mississippi State game is that I just want Mississippi State to win that game so bad because it would be so funny. But I'm not convinced that Mississippi State will win. But I'm gonna be. I've had that game circled since y'all hired Dan Mullen. I'm like, if Florida loses that game, it's just gonna be hilarious. So, but chances, I don't know. Y'all probably a better team than them, honestly. I do think Nick Fitzgerald is a better quarterback than anybody on Florida's roster, but at every other position, you guys should probably have them beat. South Carolina, I've been high on South Carolina this offseason. I think South Carolina could win 9 or 10 games this year.
Wait,
10 if they beat Florida, 9 if they don't, maybe. So I mean, I don't know about that one. Missouri, if y'all don't get your defense figured out, Missouri could score 40 points on you. Again, can you keep up with that and beat them? I don't know. Florida State, I mean, listen, I'm an SEC homer, and that last week of the year is one of my favorite weeks of football. I pull for Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, and Kentucky to beat their in-state rivals that week. But you guys have let me down. And Florida State was god-awful last year, and thank God for them, y'all were worse.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to imagine y'all beating Florida State, although I do think you have a coaching advantage there. I think Willie Taggart was a terrible hire. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many games on Florida's schedule right now. Anytime a team gets a new coach in, it makes it really hard to do these, to do like preseason predictions, because you just don't know really what you're gonna get, And a lot of these teams haven't even announced a starting quarterback, Florida State included. You don't know who I don't know who they're playing at quarterback yet, Francois or Blackman. I don't know who you guys are gonna have at quarterback. Tennessee, who knows? Even Alabama is trying to act like they don't know. So it makes it hard. But I mean, there's about I would say half of y'all's games y'all have a possibility of losing. Now the thing is, last year you lost every single game you had a possibility of losing. The odds of y'all doing that again are not good. I'd be shocked if y'all won less than 8 games. I would be shocked. I would also be shocked if you went 11-1. I think somewhere in the 7, 8, 9 win range is probably where you land. I know that's a broad spectrum and not much of a prediction. I'll do a more detailed one over the summer when I do my prediction videos. But I think you'll be better than last year, but not what Florida's used to doing with 10, 11, 12 win seasons. I don't see that.
Definitely that, yeah. And also Squidtard. Oh, I was about ready to freaking. Ooh, he pissed me off. that crap.
Yeah, he was talking a little bit of crap about the Florida fans. He says there's no way Florida's coming to Knoxville and beating Tennessee. That's what he said now.
Oh, we're beating the brakes off them.
Yeah.
It's not
And you know
gonna be
what?
close.
Man, I normally don't do this. When an SEC team plays another SEC team, I normally don't root for one particular team or the other. But I just really want that streak to continue for Tennessee. And here's the deal. It's whoever gives Tennessee their first SEC win, that's humiliating. That's humiliating.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
freaking
don't let it be Florida because, I mean, I will have plenty. Whoever loses to Tennessee first, and that goes for Georgia too, if it happens to be Georgia, I'm going to lay into somebody. I mean, because that's humiliating. They haven't won an SEC game since November of 2016. They've lost 9 straight SEC games. Don't let Florida be that win they get. Don't let it happen. I'm telling you.
I will cry for a month straight if that happens.
Oh man, if they're winless, if they were to, let's say if they lose to y'all and then I think they play Auburn before they play us. If Georgia were to be their first SEC win, oh my God, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do. I would lose.
You'd be throwing chairs out the window.
Oh, I'd be remodeling out here again. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, I don't think they go 0-8 again though. They're gonna beat somebody, but my picks right now for them to beat would be maybe Vanderbilt, Kentucky. I don't think they're gonna beat Missouri. I don't think they're beating Auburn or Alabama or Georgia or South Carolina. I mean, maybe Vandy or Kentucky. There's only 2 wins I see for them, and those are 50-50. They've lost 4 of the last 6 to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt.
All right, man. It was great talking to you, dude.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate the call and look forward to you calling in again. Wow, we got lucky with a couple of good calls in a row there. Maybe I should do this phone call thing at night more often. Somebody's keeping the trolls in check today. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, morning. Lou, I just got a kind of a 2-part question for you.
All right.
It's Go Dogs number 1.
What's up?
So, you know, as a Georgia fan, say in the next 2 years, what year would you think we had the best chance winning the Natty? Personally, me, I think in 2 years. And then second of all, if we were to lose one game this year, because we both know it's really hard to go undefeated, who would we lose to?
If we lose a game this year, I can't narrow it down to one, and I do think Georgia will lose a game. I just think the odds of going 12-0 are so slim. I think we'll be favored in all 12 games. At South Carolina, at LSU, and home against Auburn are the 3 games that worry me the most. So if I had to pick a game to lose, it would be one of those. My guess would be one of those 3.
And then what about the Natty in the next 1-2 years? You think this year, or think we need to get a little older?
The last 2,
I know that's hard,
the last 2 winners of the national title game lost the national title game the year before. There's no reason it won't happen a third time. There's no reason it won't happen a third time in a row. Now, I'm not predicting Georgia to win the national title right now, so don't get out of the comment section with all the type. My expectations for Georgia this year are the same as they were last year. Win the East with a good enough record to where if we win in Atlanta, we make the playoff. That's my goal. But Alabama won in 17. Alabama lost in 16. Clemson won in 16. Clemson lost in 15. So the last 2 winners had lost the year before. And it would be okay with me if that trend continues.
Same here. All right, thanks, Lou.
All right, buddy.
Good morning.
Appreciate it. Yep. Yeah, I do not think 2 SEC teams are getting in again this year. I do think it's possible that 2 teams from one conference get in again this year, but I don't think it'll be from the SEC if it happens. I think if it happens this year, it'll be from the Big Ten. And I think whether or not that happens depends obviously on what happens in the Big 12 and the Pac-12. If two conferences get shut out again, or if two conferences get shut out, the Big 12 and the Pac-12, I think you get two Big 10 teams in, unless Notre Dame is 11-1 or 12-0. But well, I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Yep. Good morning. Well, reckon he changed his mind. I mean, I don't know. So, but I reckon he changed his mind. Let's try this one. Well, nope, that one they hung up now. Yeah. So, call back also and 2. What's the number? 706-510-6817, I think. Does that sound right to anybody? Yep, sounds right to me. Yeah, I'll argue with anyone. More phone calls? Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, I was wanting to talk about how Florida is 17th national champion.
Florida's the what now?
Florida's the what now? 17th national champion.
The national champion?
Yeah, they're the national championship, Lou.
Of what?
All right, let me.
What? Baseball? Softball? What? Football?
Football, Lou.
Come what? Next year?
Nah, this year, Lou. Let me explain it to you.
Yeah. Explain it to me. I'm a little slow.
All right. Florida beat Vanderbilt 38-24.
Miracle.
And Vanderbilt beat Middle Tennessee State 28-6. Now Middle Tennessee State, they beat Syracuse 30-23. And you know Syracuse beat Clemson. And Clemson beat Auburn. And Auburn beat Alabama. And that's how Florida are the real national champions.
Hard to argue with that logic. So, congrats, I guess.
Look.
Yeah.
I've been working on this for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you needed like one of those graphing calculators, like one of those TI-82s to come up with that thing. That's like that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
We had to dig deep now.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. I didn't even know who Middle Tennessee State was.
They're like the second or third best team in Tennessee. You got Vanderbilt, then you got Memphis, then you got Middle Tennessee State, then you got Eastern Tennessee, and then you got Tennessee.
Shoot. Well, I want to talk about something else.
All right, what's that?
I'm trying to talk about the Jeremy Pruitt and the Tennessee Vols upcoming year.
All right.
How do you think? What do you think? I predict they're going 7-5 with a bowl win.
I think if they go 7 here's what. If they go 7-5, fans, I think Tennessee fans need to be happy with that. That's the main thing. Tennessee is past the point of we just had a down year. Now we need to be back to winning 10 and 11 games. Now you're past that. It's a terrible program right now. I mean, it just is. You hire a new coach, you got to give the guy some time. 4-8. I think if he comes in and makes a bowl game this year, he's done a good job. I think if he can go 6-6 or 7-5, the fans should be happy. If he somehow goes 8-4, he should win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he should. Honestly, if he has 7-5, I mean, shoot, they're going to be good because I mean, Kirby Smart went 7-5 his first year, I think. Did he not?
Yeah, 7-5, and then won a bowl game and finished 8-5. Yeah, so you're right. So, and the thing is, I know a lot of Tennessee fans, and they're dying, like they want to, you know, they want to be good again, and I get that, but if you really believe in Jeremy Pruitt, you got to give the guy a couple of years. I mean, hell, you gave Butch Jones a few years, and you know, Butch Jones was on the way up too. He was 5 wins, then 7 wins, then 9 wins. You know, and then it kind of started to crumble a little, but so you got to give Pruitt a chance, and you just have to be realistic. Like, I know a lot of what we do on these social media stuff is trash talk and stuff like that, so a lot of times it's hard for me to tell when I see Tennessee fans say, you know, oh, we're going 10-2 and win the East. It's hard for me to know. I know a lot of them are just trolling when they say that, but a lot of them, like, that's their expectation, and you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. I mean, Tennessee's at least a couple of years away from being able to win the East, and that's only if Jeremy Pruitt can get a couple of solid recruiting classes and turns out to be a good head coach, and we don't know if either of those things is going to happen right now. I mean, there's a chance Jeremy Pruitt could be an elite coach. There's also just as good of a chance he could be a terrible coach. We just don't know. He's never head coached a game before, so we just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Tennessee fans, they usually blame it on injuries. That's why they can't win the East. I mean, I think that's all shit, honestly.
Yeah, everybody gets injured. Everybody gets injuries. I mean, that's why you have 85 scholarships, you know? I mean, Georgia lost our starting quarterback the 3 minutes into the season. We went 13-2, won the SEC in a playoff game. So, I mean, you know, Auburn loses one running back in November and can't get a first down. So, I mean, so everybody gets injuries, but so you got to have people that can back those guys up. But and Tennessee did have a lot of injuries, especially 2 years ago, I think it was. Half the defense was out or so. So, you know, some teams do get hit harder with injuries than others, and I get that. But you can't blame injuries on the fact that you haven't won the East in 10 years. I mean, you've had some bad players and you've had some bad coaches. That's primarily what's gone wrong at Tennessee. Terrible coaches and players that weren't very good. That Josh Dobbs graduating class was by far the best graduating class at Tennessee over the last 10 years, and the best they could do was 9 wins.
By far.
But, you know, you had Kamara, Josh Dobbs. I mean, I know Tennessee fans hate Hurd now, and I would too. If that situation played out at Georgia like it did at Tennessee, I'd hate him too. But the guy's your all-time leading rusher. I mean, or almost your all-time leading rusher. So, you know, he was pretty good. And then on the defense, I mean, Derek Barnett, one of the best defensive players you've ever had. I mean, that guy's going to be making Pro Bowls in the NFL for the next 15 years. He's an absolute animal. Cameron Sutton. I mean, the list goes on and on. You had a ton of guys that left in 16. I mean, if Butch Jones was a good coach, you would have at least won the East in 16, because Florida was not any good. Florida won the East in 16 by default. We had a first-year coach. We gave a bunch of games away, lost a Hail Mary to you, lost a couple other one-possession games, got blown out in a couple of games. Kirby Smart cost us a couple of games. That's the other thing. As a first-year head coach, Pruitt's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some blunders. Trust me, Kirby Smart's Kirby Smart's clock management drove me up the friggin' wall in 2016. You can go back and watch some of the post-game videos I made in 2016, and you can see steam coming off my head at Kirby Smart. Like, what are you doing? And those are just the kind of people talk about a first-year quarterback all the time and how he's going to have bumps in the road and stuff like that. Same thing applies to a first-year head coach. I mean, there's things that you just can't learn about being a head coach until you're in a game and you're actually faced with those situations. So he's going to have some hiccups. Your team is learning new systems. They're going to have some hiccups. So you can't throw everybody under the bus after 1 year. I think if he can get to 7 or 8 wins this year, it's been a hell of a season for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it's gonna take a miracle though, because we got no players. I mean,
yeah, schedule is brutal. I mean, you already got to play Alabama. You know, that's the best team in the West, and then you on your rotating draw or whatever, you get the second best team in the West, Auburn. Those are probably 2 losses, and that's not embarrassing. I mean, there's 130 teams. About 120 of them would lose to Alabama and Auburn, at least. 125 probably would lose to Alabama and Auburn. You know, so it's not embarrassing that you're going to lose those 2 games. They're just better teams than you right now. Florida, you got to find a way. If you guys can find a way to win that Florida game, that could be huge, because there's going to be a lot of pressure on the players, the coaching staff, to get an SEC win, because you didn't have one last year. So if you can somehow manage to beat Florida in the first SEC game of the year, that could springboard Tennessee to a 7 or 8 win season. If you drop that first game to Florida, especially if for some reason it's not even close, then I could see things going pretty bad and you winding up back around the 5 win mark or something again. I also would completely forget whatever happens in the West Virginia game. Whether you could lose that game by 40. I don't think that is an indication of what will happen in SEC play. The Big 12 is almost like a different sport. They don't play the same kind of football we play in the SEC. So it takes a totally different football team to compete in the SEC than it does the Big 12, because they're pass happy out there. I mean, that Will Greer's going to throw the ball against you 40 times, and he's probably going to have 400 yards. He's a hell of a quarterback. So even if for some reason you were to get blown out against West Virginia, I don't think that changes your odds one way or the other of beating Florida. I think, you know, those you can't take what happens against that West Virginia team and say, oh, we're doomed now in the SEC. I think you could still have a pretty good year either way, depending on you know, if you can beat Florida.
But one reason, I mean, I think that we was close with Florida last year. Because they went off that Hail Mary, was because of suspension. Now they got those players back, like Jordan Scarlett and I don't know who else. But Jordan Scarlett's the key player for them last year, well, 2 years ago, I mean. Yeah. In 16. So it's gonna be hard stopping him.
Yeah, he's a good running back. Florida's problem is going to be, listen, if Dan Mullen has a good quarterback, he can put a good team on the field. If he doesn't have a good quarterback, Florida's going to struggle. Yeah. And I'm of the opinion right now that it's not going to be a good year for Florida at the quarterback position. So I'm doubting Florida right now. I think they're weak in some other areas too. Their defense has been keeping them alive the last 4 or 5 years. And their defense is not the same anymore. Those Will Muschamp players are gone. I started to see some cracks in that defense a couple of years ago, and then last year it really showed. I mean, Georgia put up 40-something on them. Missouri is still scoring touchdowns on them today. I mean, they just completely – the defense just completely fell apart. And so those 2 years that Florida won the East, their offense was scoring 23 points a game. If they score 23 points a game this year, they might go 0-8. Because that defense ain't holding very many people under 20 points. I can promise you that. Florida's defense just is not elite anymore.
All they have on their defense is pretty much, I mean, Chauncey Gardner.
Yeah.
That's probably their best player.
Yeah. I mean, they've got some playmakers, but, you know, 2015, 2016, 2014 even, they had an NFL defense. I mean, half the players on that team ended up getting drafted. Sure, you know, I mean, they had elite pass rushers. Dante Fowler, I mean, going all the way back to him, and then all those cornerbacks and safeties, Keanu Neal, I mean, all those guys that ended up were high first-round picks. I mean, those guys are gone, you know, and McElwain wasn't recruiting those elite defensive players at the same rate that Will Muschamp was, and so that defense is not the same as it was, you know, the last 3 or 4 years. So offensively, they better hope that Mullen finds some answers, because I think if Florida can't find a way to score 30 points a game, they're going to have a long season.
Well, I think they're just going to go straight to Felipe for week 1, just because of the experience. And then if he doesn't do good, then they're going to put Emory Jones in. Because, I mean, Emory Jones looked pretty good in the spring game. I think he threw for like a touchdown and like 147 yards, which is not bad for a freshman.
Yeah, they play Charleston Southern week 1, so that's a nobody. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's the type of situation where you see a couple of different quarterbacks play in that first game.
Definitely.
You know, and then they play Kentucky week 2. So maybe they let a couple of different quarterbacks play week 1 and then name a permanent starter week 2 at Kentucky. And if for some reason they still haven't got it figured out, week 3 they play Colorado State. So that's sort of another kind of gimme game before they have to go to Rocky Top there for week 4. So
Yeah. They have to name starters before Tennessee.
yeah.
Well, Kentucky's not much of a threat. They're not that good anymore.
Right.
But, well, that's all I have to call today. Thank you for receiving my call.
All right, I appreciate it.
Look at this photograph.
Let us know how things are going for you. There. I'm impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm impressed with the calls today. We normally don't do the phone calls at night. And these have been some pretty good calls, so I got to give you guys credit. When the trolls come out, I complain. So when I get the good calls, I need to give the credit. So good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey Lou, it's Squidtard again. I'm back.
Hey, I missed you, man. I'm glad you called back.
Me too, man, but I just needed to add something to what I said earlier. To all the Florida fans who got mad about what I said, I have to apologize for that. I was saying Florida has no chance of winning that game. I'm sorry, I'm just a mad Tennessee fan, tired of going 5-7, 4-8 every year. It's no fun. I just wanted to explain something of why. Wait, what were you saying?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to explain something, like why all of us Tennessee fans say stuff about we're going to go 9-3 this year and all that.
Okay.
But the main reason why all of us Tennessee fans say that is because we bring in like all of these 5-star recruits every year. Like we have so much talent just coming in every year. Now it's not like Alabama level talent, but it's enough talent to win at least 7-8 games. Now this season it could be different though, but because we have such a brutal schedule. But I mean, but when you bring this much talent in every year and can't even get to a bowl game, it's upsetting. And we've had this same thing going on for like a decade. 2016, we had national championship talent, hands down. With Butch Jones is not a coach. I don't know what Butch Jones is, but he's a motivational speaker. But
yes, that's a great description.
If we actually had a coach, we would have at least won the East, like you said. I don't know. It made me so mad. Like we lost to South Carolina, which we shouldn't have done.
Oh yeah, listen, I completely agree. And you know, I talk all kinds of trash during the year, but then once the season is over, like it's easier for me to look back at past seasons and be a lot more open and honest. And in 2016, you guys had a really good team. I mean, a really good team. As much trash as I talked about Josh Dobbs, he was a great college quarterback. I mean, he pretty much beat Georgia by himself those 2 years in a row. You could have had everybody else you had minus Josh Dobbs, and I don't think you beat Georgia either of those 2 years, even with Hurd and Kamara and Cameron Sutton and Barnett on defense and those guys. As good as they were, I think Georgia still wins those 2 games if it wasn't for Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs pretty much single-handedly beat UGA those 2 years. Those 2 years in a row. You were loaded with talent those 2 years. The loss to South Carolina in 2016 is one of the most unexplainable losses I've ever seen. It was weird in so many ways. I mean, that was the game that Hurd quit in. You know, South Carolina was a terrible. I mean, not bad, terrible team. South Carolina in 2016 was almost as bad as you were last year. Like, they were coming off they had won 3 games the year before that and lost to the Citadel. And then that year that they beat you, they only won I think six games or something. They finished 6-7 or something. So they weren't very good. And you guys were in the driver's seat. All you had to do was beat South Carolina and Vanderbilt, and the East was yours. And those were two terrible teams. And you lost to both of them. I mean, I've never seen anything. It was a collapse of epic proportions, sir. Only Tennessee could find a way to lose the East in that scenario, sir. Only Butch Jones, only Lyle, only Tennessee. Congratulations, sir. And then I said, wow, it can't get any worse than this for Tennessee. You get the East wrapped up for the first time in 9 years. All you got to do is beat the 2 worst teams in the East, Carolina and Vandy, and you can't do it. And I'm thinking, man, it can't get any worse than this. And then 2017 tapped me on the shoulder and said, hold my beer and watch this, Lou. And then you guys went out and went 0-8 in the SEC.
We come up and screw it all up again. That's what I was saying after we lost to Vandy. Fire Butch. Like, Butch does not need to be there anymore. And we didn't. And that's why we went 4-8. I'm going to tell you the first mistake we made when it was back in 2008 when we fired Phil Fulmer. I wasn't saying firing Phil Fulmer was the biggest mistake we've ever done, but we should have at least had an idea of what we were going to be doing, because
yeah,
like, we just randomly just decided to fire him, and we didn't even have like another guy. So then we hired Lane Kiffin, who left to Southern Cal, which was I hate Lane Kiffin. I hate him. I hate him so much.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to look back now and say it was a mistake to fire Fulmer, but really what it was is that you didn't replace him with the right guy 3 times in a row. I mean, you made 3 of the worst hires in SEC history, and you made them consecutively. I mean, an argument can be made that the Lane Kiffin hire wasn't a bad hire, maybe it was a good hire, but you know, he left, so it ends up being bad. And then the Dooley thing, like, that'll go down in history as one of the most boneheaded things any major college football program has ever done. Lyle, he had some success, but it was like at Cincinnati or something. He was still sort of an unknown. You bring him in. The worst thing that Butch Jones ever did was steadily win a few more games. If he just would have sucked since, you know, the entire time he got there, maybe you guys would have got rid of him a little sooner. But because he kept getting better, and you guys were loving it too. Oh, Butch Jones has improved every year that he's been here, Lou. 5 wins, Lou. 7 wins, Lou. Then 9 wins, Lou. Then 9 wins again, Lou. Well, and you know, but then it tanked off. So, you know, but you live and you learn, man. I'm sure Jeremy Pruitt is the one you guys have been looking for. I'm confident. You there? I don't know what happened. I don't know if he changed his mind or what. It's possible, I guess. I don't know. It is possible, but not likely. What am I doing? 706, whatever the number is. 706-510-6817. If you want to be on the Uncle Lou Show, feel free to call. Now would be a good time to do it. I am your host, Uncle Lou, with a late night PM edition of the Uncle Lou Show Live. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, also, and 2. All right. There's no way that 2 people in a row aren't talking, so I'm going to reset the phone. That does happen sometimes. That does happen sometimes. While I'm waiting on the phone to reset, let me look in this comment section here and let me know. But have we had any problems in this comment section tonight? Maybe the mods can let me know if there's been any problems or situations in the comment section. Like we had the other day. I haven't noticed any, but I haven't been paying that close of attention. Uncle Lou running from Miami fans. Why would Uncle Lou be running from Miami fans? We got too many 5 stars. We felt bad for Gamecocks. Do you see where Zach Pickens went? No, I didn't see where Zach Pickens went. The number is 706-510-6817. Right? Yeah, right. That is.
I don't speak pineapple, woo!
But I had to reset the app on my phone, so if you tried to call in the last couple of seconds or minutes or whatever and couldn't get through, that's why. Sometimes this app gets locked up, and when people call, it doesn't go through. So I reset it, and we'll see if it's back up and running now. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, also in 2.
Good morning. This is Michael Vick.
Michael Vick, what's up, buddy, man? How you doing, man? Hey, how you treating them dogs, man?
What was that?
How you treating them dogs? You treating them all right there?
Yeah, I'm treating them all right.
Okay, good. Now, what can we do for you this evening, sir?
Okay, so anyway, I've been arguing with this Tater fan in the comment section.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and anyway, and then he said that the SEC only has Alabama, and then I told him that the SEC only has Clemson.
You know what it is about these people that are jealous, man? Let me explain something to this Tater fan in the comment section. You can take Alabama away. Take them out of the SEC, pretend they don't even exist. The SEC still has more than twice as many national titles as any other conference this century. So, no, the SEC is not just Alabama. 2 SEC teams have played for the national title in the same year in the last 10 years. How many times has that happened in the ACC or the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the Pac-12? The answer is never. Never. And the SEC has done it twice in the last 10 years. Not only that, the SEC has by far the best bowl record of any of the 5 major conferences. The SEC has the best head-to-head record against other Power 5 schools. And it's not close. Not close. So, no, the SEC is not just Alabama, and the only people that say that is people who are either mad, ignorant, or both.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I have a feeling you agree with me, sir.
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. I'm glad you straightened them out.
Yep. So anyway, and if you take Alabama away, well then other SEC teams would have won titles in their place. So.
Of course, exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not for,
take Alabama away. Guess who wins the 2012 national title? The University of Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah. Take Alabama away. Guess who wins the 2017 national title? Georgia. Plus, take Alabama away. Plus, you still got all these other SEC teams that's winning national titles and dominating the other conferences on a regular basis. Not to mention the fact, you happen to say this was a Tater fan, not to mention the fact the University of Georgia is something like 48-18 against Clemson. They would have to beat us 30 years straight just to tie the series.
Yep. Yeah, and then he tried to tell me that it's not true that the ACC only has Clemson. He told me that Miami and Florida State are elite teams.
Well, listen. These people suffer from SEC fatigue, man.
Yep.
Who's the most hated baseball team? The Yankees.
The Yankees.
Why?
Because they win all the time.
Good morning. Thank you. Seems like an obvious answer, doesn't it? Unless you're a Tater fan or an ACC fan or a Big Ten or a Pac-12, then you got to make all the. I get Pac-12 fans in the comment section all the time now want to tell me how many softball national championships they've won. I mean, these people have just completely given up, sir. Reality is slapping them in their face, and they're busy crying into their vitamin water about softball championships.
Yeah, so what about Miami and Florida State being elite teams.
Well, Florida State's won a national title recently, and consistently they're winning, 10, 11 games a year, usually. Last year, not the case. Miami, on the other hand, has been in the toilet bowl for over a decade now. You got to give Miami credit, though. Miami dominated college football in the 90s and the early 2000s before they were in a real conference. Soon as Miami joined a real conference, they couldn't do anything. Nothing. Soon as they joined the ACC, they went away. People forgot they had a team. I mean, look at a Miami home game from 2 or 3 years ago. You can literally count the number of people at the game. You don't have to wait on the announcer or whatever on TV to tell you. You can literally do like any, mini, mighty, mo and count the number of people who were at Miami games, which was nobody. 2 years ago, they held their spring game at a high school stadium. There was 38 people there. 8 of them were referees. This past year, they win the division for the first time ever. Make it to the ACC title game, playing a huge New Year's Six bowl game in their home stadium. Everybody's excited. The U is back. The turnover chain. They're digging up 2 Live Crew and putting old records on. They're trying to bail Nevin Shapiro out of the jail, go down to the strip club, make it rain with $1 bills like they were doing in the 90s, wearing camouflage fatigues when they get off the bus and whatnot. Greatest year in like 12, 13, 14 years at the University of Miami. Everyone's excited. Spring game rolls around. April 2018. 11,000 people showed up. 11,000. There was 11,000 people using the bathroom at Georgia spring game at any given time. There was 100,000 people there.
Yep, yeah. So then I told him that if that's true, that Georgia and Auburn are also elite teams.
Of course that's true. Of course that's true. You can go down the list. And here's the best way to do it. The best team in the SEC last year was Alabama. The best team in the ACC was Clemson. What happened when they played? Alabama blew them out. Second best team in the SEC, Georgia. Who was the second best team in the ACC? Miami. Georgia would have beat the ever-loving shit out of Miami. The ever-loving shit out of them. Clemson beat the shit out of Miami. Clemson beat Miami like they owed them money. Then Alabama beat Clemson like Clemson owed Alabama money, and then Georgia and Alabama played into double overtime. So that tells me right there, Georgia would have beat Miami like a rented mule. Okay, so that's SEC's 2-0 now. Third best team, Auburn. Auburn would have beat anybody else in the ACC. Okay, who's the next best team? LSU, South Carolina, Mississippi State. They would have beat, South Carolina did beat NC State. NC State was the third best team in the ACC. They lost to South Carolina. Give me a break, man. The ACC was terrible last year. Terrible. They didn't have a single elite team, to be honest. Their best team lost to a fruit. Anyway, you done got me all worked up, man. Mission accomplished. And hey, don't take no crap off of them taters in the comment section, man. I appreciate the call and keep up the good work also and too. You know what? You know what really proves the SEC is the best conference? You know what really proves it? You know what you never hear? You never hear this. You don't never hear no group of Big Ten fans sitting around going, "Oh, we're better than the ACC. I think we're going to be better than the ACC this year." Or you don't never hear the Big 12 sitting around going, I think we can be better than the Pac-12 this year. I really think we can. You don't see the Pac-12 sitting around going, I think we can be better than the ACC this year. No, every conference is always talking about how they think they can be better than the SEC. Why? Why? Because you're always chasing the GOAT conference. That's why. Listen, the SEC is the kings of college football. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I don't know why people are still trying to argue this in 2018. I don't get it. Hasn't the SEC won like 10 of the last 12 national titles or something like that? I don't understand. Somebody help me understand. Good morning, and you're on with Uncle Lou, too.
Hello, is this Uncle Lou?
Hey, man, you done called again, man. How many times is this now? What's up now? What do you want to do this time? about them? What do you think you're going to do?
I was believing that the Florida Gators could go 15-0.
15-0?
Yeah, I was happy because we have Felipe Franks and he's really good.
Yeah, I remember hearing about him.
Oh, yeah, you heard about him?
Yeah, but as soon as Trump builds that wall, he's gone.
Well, Felipe Franks, because he's really good. Like, he's been doing a lot of training and stuff. Like, he's really strong in the weight room.
Yeah.
And, I'm thinking we could beat Georgia this year, too. We could blow them out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking,
No doubt.
100-0.
15-0.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
I guess you better do Nakamura.
Yeah. Hey, dude, can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you do me a favor?
Yes, Nakamura. What is it?
I want you to tickle your belly and go like Elmo. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Elmo. Oh yeah. Sounded like Nick Saban. We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. Good morning.
What's going on, Uncle Luke?
What's up?
Oh, not much, man. I'm a fellow Georgia fan here, so I don't know how much we're going to argue on a couple things. But
All right.
I had a couple points I wanted to ask you about. And one is, I mean, I think somebody else kind of already covered it, but, talking about the whole fact of how hard it is to go 12-0, especially in our conference, and which game that you felt like was the biggest trap game. And are you really worried about that Week 2 matchup in South Carolina?
I mean, I mention it a lot because people ask me a lot, what games do you think Georgia could lose, Lou? And it's hard to find one. I mean, because I do think we'll be favored in all our games, but we have struggled at South Carolina lately over the last 10 years or so. I think we're probably around
in the Mark Richt days.
In the Mark Richt days, yes. Kirby is 1-0. Kirby is 1-0 in Columbia. So I think we win that game. I don't think. I think South Carolina. Like I try to find like, okay, where's an advantage South Carolina could have over Georgia they could exploit in that game, and if I have to pick one, I will say that I do think Deebo Samuel is probably the best receiver in the SEC if and when he's 100% healthy.
Without a doubt.
He's hard to cover. But we have, I think, the best cover corner this year in the SEC in DeAndre Baker. So Baker's going to be on Deebo all game. Won't surprise me if he gets some help over the top either. But we are young overall in the secondary. I love DeAndre Baker, and we've got a ton of talent back there too, but a lot of that talent doesn't have whole lot of game time experience. I'm talking about people like Richard LeCount, D'Angelo Gibbs, if he gets any playing time. The freshman we have coming in from Miami, Tyson Campbell. I mean, until you see guys do something on Saturday, there is a learning curve there. So I could see a scenario where if Jake Bentley gets hot and South Carolina has a second receiver that they can do some damage with other than Deebo Samuel, I can see a scenario where they get some yards and points. And we saw that last year, if you remember. They lit us up in the first half last year. Now that tight end they had is gone. That tight end ate us alive over the middle last year. Now he's gone. He's in the NFL, thank God, because we didn't have an answer for him at all. He ate us alive on 15, 20-yard seam routes over the middle last year. So I'm glad he's gone. But if you're a Carolina fan or if you just hate Georgia and you're looking for a reason for him to lose, if Bentley gets hot and can avoid interceptions, which he's had a hard time doing. He's a Brett Favre type of guy. He thinks he can make every single throw every single time, and because of that, he throws a ton of interceptions. If Bentley can avoid mistakes, they can find a second receiver to complement Deebo Samuel, and they're able to get some kind of ground game going, because no one-dimensional team is going to beat Georgia, so they're going to have to be able to run the ball some. If they're able to do that, I could see this being a game. Now, I think Georgia is way too talented to lose this game, but if this game is close going into the fourth quarter, I'll be nervous.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I've actually got a real good buddy of mine who's a big-time South Carolina fan, so every year this game's kind of a deal for us. And I pretty much circled it on my calendar, and the only thing that really makes me nervous is how early in the season it is. Say if this game was like last year, like we're playing in October, I have no worries about it whatsoever. But like you said, with some of the inexperience going on in our backfield and defense as a whole, and Georgia, obviously we're playing, cupcake week one. I don't think we'll know who we are as a team yet.
Right.
And that kind of scares me a little bit. Going out there on the road the first time, getting punched in the mouth. I'm with you. I mean, talent alone, coaching staff alone, everything else, UGA should hands down win this game. It's just kind of got that trap alert feel all over it to me. And another thing is that if we were to go out there and fall on our face, I think South Carolina may be talented enough to run the rest of the East.
Yeah.
And we may, be looking at a scenario to where you don't win the SEC the East this year just based off losing that one game.
Yeah, the problem is, like you said, if we lose that game, then at that point we're waiting on South Carolina to lose 2 SEC games. You know what I mean? Because they would own a tiebreaker. So you have to start looking for South Carolina losses at that point. Where do you find them? Maybe Florida. Maybe Mizzou is better than we think they might be and can give them a decent game. Texas A&M. South Carolina's never beat Texas A&M. They got to play Texas A&M this year with Jimbo Fisher, so maybe something happens there. The other West team they play, I believe, is Ole Miss. Got to assume South Carolina's going to win that one. Got to assume they'll beat Vandy. Now, Kentucky has beat South Carolina 4 years in a row. Normally, when that happens, I say, well, Kentucky's obviously a better team, but something weird just has happened there because Kentucky is not a better team than South Carolina. So hard to understand how that's happened. But you're right. It would be a dangerous situation. And how many years under Mark Richt did we find ourselves in that situation, whether it was with South Carolina or somebody else, where a boneheaded loss somewhere cost us, later in the year. I mean, Missouri won the East 2 years in a row. We beat the hell out of them both years. But because we couldn't beat a 500 South Carolina team, Missouri goes on to the SEC championship game, not Georgia. That would be a nightmare.
Oh, exactly. And, those were pretty much tokens of the Mark Richt days, the South Carolina and Tennessee games, really, both of those games.
Right, I know.
Just complete, inexplicable losses.
Yeah, I tell you something else I've talked about a couple of times, too, that is interesting to me to keep an eye on in the first couple of weeks of the season. Everybody's talking about Fromm and Fields. Now, I'm 100% convinced that Fromm is the starter, and nothing other than an injury is going to change that. But
he'll be starter week one.
Yes,
without a doubt.
I agree completely. But I really think that Justin Fields is going to get meaningful playing time. Like I don't think he's just coming in the fourth quarter to hand the ball off 4 or 5 times and then take a knee to end games. I think Justin Fields is going to play in the first half of that Austin Peay game. And when that happens, Will Muschamp has to spend all that next week preparing for both quarterbacks, because he's not going to know if that's something we're doing just because we're playing Austin Peay, or if that's something we're going to do every single game. We're going to have packages and we're going to put Fields in at random times in the second quarter and let him run a series or two to give these defenses a different look. And say what you want about Will Muschamp, and God knows I've said plenty, he's a defensive genius. anything we can do offensively to gain some sort of advantage over Will Muschamp, I'm in favor of that. And I think if Justin Fields comes in and plays 2 or 3 series in the first half and 2 or 3 series in the second half, especially if he looks good, and chances are he will against Austin Peay, I think that's gonna send Will Muschamp into panic mode that next week, because he's not gonna know. Because I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but he's a totally different style of quarterback than Fromm, so you have to prepare for that. Hell, that's why we lost.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have to prepare for those kinds of things. Fromm's a pocket passer, so when Will Muschamp's watching that Austin Peay game and he sees Justin Fields come in and we're running zone reads and design quarterback runs and designed rollout passes with Fields that Fromm has never done, Muschamp's going to have to prepare for all that next week, because he's not going to have any idea if that was just an Austin Peay thing or if that's part of Georgia's game plan all year. And so that's something that, to me, that alone is reason enough to stay glued to that Austin Peay game, because, we're going to be up 40, 50 points, I would imagine, at some point in that game. But I'm going to be watching that game specifically to see yeah, and if and the other thing, obviously, if for some reason Zamir White is cleared to go, everybody's ready to, wanting to see him too, but I seriously doubt we see him week 1, but who knows. But so that's going to be interesting to me to see how that plays out. What'd you say?
I said risk versus reward with Zamir White just wouldn't make any sense for that Austin Peay game. I would figure we probably don't see him till 4 or 5 games in the year.
I'm with you. Unless it was different with Nick Chubb, because Chubb had been there for a couple of years when he had his injury. So he already knew the plays, he knew the playbook, he knew his blocking assignments, he knew all that. He knew all that stuff. So the instant he was able to run, there was no reason not to play him. So I was okay with him coming back and playing, in North Carolina week 1 that following year. But with Zamir White, I mean, he's a first-year player, so, and we're loaded at the running back position, so I don't want to risk him at all. I don't want to see him in a game till he's 110% healthy, not 75, not 85, not 99.9. I mean, unless he's 110% ready to go physically and mentally, I don't want to see him on the field either. I mean, we could beat Austin Peay with me or you at running back, probably. I mean, Swift will be the guy, I'm sure. And Herron and Holyfield will be in there, and we'll probably see some James Cook too in that game. But whenever Zeus is ready, though, I haven't been as high on an incoming UGA freshman as I am on Zamir White ever. I think the minute he's healthy, I think he could be one of the best 5 running backs in America. I think he's the real deal.
I think so too, without a doubt. I think a lot of the hype is warranted when it comes to him, man. If you just look at his high school games, and
it's unbelievable.
The sheer eye-popping stats he's been able to put out. He's a generational running back.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Anyways, man, I'll get one more argument off my chest, and I'll let you go.
All right.
I mean, I know it's probably going to hurt me and you both being UGA fans. Which loss was more crushing to you, this past national championship or the 2012 SEC championship?
Man, probably this one. I mean, in 2012, I sort of knew going into that game that either team was going to, I was like, oh, if we can win this, we could probably beat Notre Dame. But there was still a little bit of, we still would have had to wait and then play a whole nother game and all that. I mean, we were, with this one this past year, I mean, that was it. I mean, and I thought we had the game won at so many different points in that game. And then to have it win the way it did, that was probably the most brutal loss I've ever witnessed.
I'd have to agree, and if I could enact some law, I would make Malcolm Parrish pay his full 4-year ride back to the University of Georgia.
Yeah, he's not very popular, is he?
No, he almost single. I mean, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want to jump out there, and I don't want to talk about the refs and everything else. I believe you settle everything on the football field. There'll be lucky bounces here and there. They go to either team. You just play it out, kind of like a cage fight or a boxing match. If you leave it up to the judges, this is what happens. Knock your opponent out when you have the chance. But Malcolm Parrish almost single-handedly tanked that championship without a doubt.
Yeah, and I hate blaming losses on any one player or whatever for that last play, but he got abused all season, really, and all game in the national championship game. I mean, people say, what happened to Calvin Ridley in the national title game? Well, DeAndre Baker took him out of the game, but Tua lit up the other side of the field, and that's where Parrish was, and he was just kind of our weak link in our liability sort of all year. I'll say this: he wasn't as bad as Jawan Briscoe was the year before. You remember that guy? Oh my God!
Jawan Briscoe was terrible.
I almost had a heart attack and a stroke at the same time watching that Briscoe. I saw teams throw at him 6-7 times in a row, and you knew it was on purpose. I mean, I'm not an X's and O's guy. Like I watch 12 hours of football every Saturday. I mean, I love football, but I'm not an X's and O's guy. Like, I can't explain the difference to you between a 3-4 and a 4-3 and why one is better against certain what I don't. That's not me. So if an idiot like me knows this guy Briscoe don't know what the hell he's doing, and I see another team throwing it at him 6-7 times in a row, then I know the other team knows that too. It's not just a coincidence that Ole Miss is throwing the ball at Jawan Briscoe 6, 7, 8 times in a row. Like, they know it too. Like, get this man off the field, coach. Oh my God, that was yeah, that was bad. Anyway, man, I appreciate the call.
It was hair pulling, and I actually live in Mississippi, so that makes it.
Oh God, yeah, that was even worse for you. Hey, have you ever been to a tailgate at Ole Miss?
No, I have not. I've actually had a couple of guys that I've worked with that have offered to take me up there. I think I may take them up on that.
Yeah.
Buddy I got that's the South Carolina fan. He makes the Egg Bowl every year. I'll probably have to go do that one time.
Yeah, I was talking earlier how there's like a list of like 10 stadiums I'd like to see a college football game in, regardless of whether Georgia's playing there or not. And one of those stadiums is Ole Miss. Not because I care about the stadium, but I would love to tailgate one time at the Grove.
Yeah, they say the Grove is pretty wild up there, man, once everything is going on.
Yeah, you got to wear like a bow tie and a sports coat and all that to walk around.
Oh, yeah, man.
Highfalutin up in there.
And these shorts and, dockers and all that. There's definitely a dress code, but
yeah.
I hear they like to party.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call.
All right, Uncle Lou. Been a long-time fan, man. You take care.
All right, you too. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hotty toddy. Is that what they say? Ole Miss hotty toddy. Oh, God. Yeah, Ole Miss is irrelevant as far as football teams go. I missed the name of whoever said that. Yeah, obviously they're irrelevant as far as football teams go, but I need to go to a tailgate at the Grove one day. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, also, and two.
How's it going, Uncle Lou?
Hey, good morning. Going great, man.
This is Jared.
Yeah, what's up, Jared? How you doing today, sir?
Fine, been sick over the weekend, but other than that, you're fine.
But it's summer vacation, sir. No time to be sick.
True that. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to discuss. Would Kyle Shermer start for quarterback for Alabama?
No. Come on, man. Listen.
No?
Listen. I've been more than fair with my critique and everything of Vanderbilt. I happened to look up his stats the other day. He's not, I mean, they're okay. But no, he wouldn't start for Alabama. No.
That was just kind of a joke.
No, if they didn't have the pineapple, if they didn't have the pineapple, yeah. If they didn't have the pineapple, you could start for Bama, sir. I mean, if they didn't have Nick Saban was ready to pull somebody out of the bleachers and put in the game at halftime of that national title game. I mean, Hurts is that bad. So yeah, if Shermer was the backup to Jalen Hurts at Alabama, he would have played.
Well, like a lot of people don't pay attention to Vannies, I know that, but
his stats are kind of skewed from the end of the season because week 11, I believe it was, he was like 26 or 19-4 touchdown INT ratio. In 2 of his last 3 games, he threw 3 interceptions in each of them.
Yeah, and Derek Mason doesn't like to throw the ball around. I mean, Derek Mason wants to play defense and run the ball, especially, you know, you guys had Ralph Webb for 2 or 3 years, and he was a hell of a running back. And so it's not like Derek Mason was sending Kyle Shermer out there to throw the ball 35 times again. I mean, generally speaking, if Vanderbilt's throwing 30 or 35 times, that probably means they're pretty far behind.
Shut it down.
Yeah, they're losing. You know, Derek Mason wants to slow games down. You know, play defense and run the ball. But so, and Shermer gets the job done, you know, more times than not for you guys. I mean, hell, y'all beat Kansas State last year. They turned around and beat the hell out of UCLA in a bowl game. I mean, y'all had an okay year, you know. I still think Vanderbilt should be shooting for bowl games. I mean, these things where Vanderbilt, you know, it shouldn't be. I pray we win 6 games. That shouldn't be it. It should be an expectation to make a bowl game now at Vanderbilt now at this point. Anything less is unacceptable.
Well, I think what the biggest issue last season was, which is what he addressed this offseason by hiring, I don't remember what his name was, but he was the DC for the Oakland Raiders. Because after the Alabama loss, he was like kind of had to do 2 things at once. He was the defense coordinator and the head coach. So he was trying to keep everyone together and manage the defense. And I think that's why our defense fell off so much.
Yeah.
Was because he had to keep the team under control, and the defense kind of fell apart because, especially after we lost 59-0, and then it was like next week we just took a beating, then they took a beating, and then took a beating, and then took a beating, and it was like. Even Kyle Shermer, like, he couldn't just go up and down the field on teams. He makes mistakes just like every QB does. But, like, in the game against South Carolina that Shermer had, like, he did all he could to keep us in the game, and our defense let us down.
Yeah. What are you going to do, man? It's the life of a Vanderbilt fan, man. What are you going to do?
True. I mean, I went to that game, and that was actually, like, one of the better games I've seen. And South Carolina fans are idiotic as hell.
Oh, no doubt, man. You're preaching to the choir. No doubt.
Don't even know what a pass interference is.
No, they don't know
They
nothing,
shove
man.
a tight end down as he's jumping for the ball, and he's picked by the safety behind him because he was pushed to the ground. And then there's a flag that comes out for pass interference, and they wonder why.
No, they don't know nothing about football, man. But if you ever need a camshaft changed out on an '88 IROC Z, that's who you call.
Yes. All right. But here's a real question: Who, if it's 3rd and 15, you have 20 seconds left, and you're on your own 40? Who would you take, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
Give me the scenario again.
It's 4th and 15
Okay.
on your own 40, and you have 20 seconds down by 6.
I'm taking Tom Brady. I mean, yeah, I'm taking Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers.
I personally would take Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well.
I think Aaron Rodgers has, like, I know Tom Brady's like the go and all, but I think Aaron Rodgers has a better arm strength than Tom Brady does, and what Aaron Rodgers does outside the pocket, I think that'd give him a better advantage, like to keep plays alive, for you to complete that 4th and 15, like to buy enough time for your receivers to get open.
Yeah. I mean, both good quarterbacks. I mean, hard to pick between those two, but. I don't know. There's not very many scenarios in which I would pick anybody other than, over Tom Brady. So.
Okay. There's one other thing, but I can't remember. But I'll let you go.
All right, Jared. Thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. Don't bother calling right now. I'm not going to answer. I need to ask y'all something in the comment section, though. So don't run off either. Let's see. What's a good one to play? How about you jerk off?
I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off.
Good morning. Hey, good morning. It's Lou here. Listen. listen to me, the comment section. I need y'all to help me with something in the comment section. So don't go running off and don't troll me with no dumb shit here either. I'm seriously asking y'all for some advice here. You know this is my grandma's basement, right? Or my mom's garage, or whatever it is that y'all are pretending that this is this week. But regardless of what y'all are calling it this week, the fact remains there is no air conditioner out here, okay? I do have a fan out here, and the fan was great, you know, when it was 70 or 75 degrees outside. That was no problem. It moved the air around in here. That was no problem. Problem now is it's 85, 90, 95 outside. Soon to be 100, 105, 110 outside, which means in here it's going to be even hotter than that. What can I do to cool it off in here? Now, I don't need to cool off this entire garage / basement, whatever it is. I don't need to cool off the whole thing. I only need to cool off this area. This area here, which is like, basically I need to cool off like a 10-foot by 6-foot area. Like a 10-foot by 6-foot area. That's all I need to cool off. Doing the regular videos out here, that's no problem. But these live shows, like even tonight, and it's not even that hot outside. It's probably 80 degrees outside right now. I'm dying in here. Like, I'm losing weight just sitting here because it's so hot in here. What can I do? Are there any life hacks? Like what can I do to cool off this area? Like, the fan is not cutting it. So, what can I do? The computer puts out heat. Not as much heat as the sun. I mean, it's 120 degrees in a month. It's going to be 120 degrees in here, air conditioned with no shit air conditioning. I'm not paying $10,000 to have central air run from the house out into here. I'm not doing that. It's linear HVAC service. Go to Walmart and get you one of those electric fans with temperature control, or those coolers that blow cold air. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I needed to know. Buy a ceiling fan or buy a generator. What would I plug into the generator? I mean, I have electricity out here. What do I need a generator for? I have a kerosene heater. I have a heater that I put out here in the wintertime. That's no problem. I'm not worried about that. Do your live show in a freezer. I have a freezer over here, but it's not big enough to do the show in. Put ice in your shirt. Get a window unit. I can't do the window unit because I walled off the windows. There used to be, you see where this Herschel Walker jersey is? That's a window. This is a window right here. I sheetrocked over it because the light that comes in through the window was messing up my videos. So the window unit is out. I'm looking for something like I saw something on YouTube that you can buy off of Amazon or something. It works similar to a fan, but it's got a reservoir in it where you pour water in it, and somehow it cools the water, and the fan does something with the water, and it's supposed to make the air that comes out of the fan like 15 degrees cooler than it normally would be or something. You people saying get in a refrigerator and stuff like that are no help at all. So you just got a flash flood. My backyard is I'm now the proud new owner of a pond in my backyard. So I get you. It's rained every day here for like 6 or 7 days straight, and I'm not talking about a little bit of rain either. I mean like Noah's flood type rain. Go live with the neighbors. They got a lot of, yeah, the neighbors love me. I'm their favorite people. Get a block of ice behind your fan. You know what else I saw too? Has anyone ever tried this? They said buy a regular cooler, like one of those big igloo coolers, right? The big plastic coolers. They said buy one of those coolers, put a bunch of ice in it, right? Put the top on the cooler, and then what you do is you buy like a 12-inch fan, you know, and you cut a hole in the top of the cooler. You set the fan where it's blowing into the cooler where the ice is, and then you drill like 3 1-inch holes in the side of the cooler, like that would be facing me, and you stick you stick 1-inch PVC pipe in there, and so the fan is blowing down onto the ice into the cooler, and there's nowhere for the air to go because the cooler is closed except for out those holes that you drilled, and you face them right to where you're sitting, and they say that cools you down. That might be the way to go. That's probably what I'll try first. Heart machine. Yeti cooler? No. I'm not nearly stupid enough to buy a Yeti cooler. Yeah, the cooler thing. I'm going to try the cooler thing first, I think. Like I said, just the regular videos that I film, I'm not too concerned about that because I can film some of those and then go inside and then come back out and film some more, then go in and cool off, then come back out and edit them, stuff like that. I can even do the editing late at night, while everyone's asleep or something. I can come out here when it's cooler and do the editing for the next day. I'm not worried about that. It's the live shows, mainly the afternoon shows is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm telling you right now, the 3 o'clock show that I do here in another couple of weeks, it's going to be 130 degrees in here. You know what I'm saying? $39 Arctic cooling system at Walmart. I've seen on TV. It's just like I did Walmart air conditioning. Yeah, okay, I could look into that too. Put a table beside you and put a fan on it and plug the fan in and turn it on. It'll blow cool air in your face. If you're in a 120 degree room and you turn a fan on, all you're doing is moving 120 degree air. Or I've got a fan right here. It's blowing right on me right now. It's blowing about an 85 degree air on me right now. In 2 weeks, it'll be blowing 105 degree air on me. So just having a fan is not gonna. A regular fan is not the answer. Do your show in the North Pole. That's a good idea. Did y'all see? Oh, I could get that cardboard box where I'm able to teleport, and I could just teleport from here to the North Pole to my show there. First, take your hat off. Second, go to Walmart. I got cheap air conditioning systems. Trust me, I live in Florida. Put a table beside you and put the fan on it and plug the fan in and turn it on and it'll blow. No. That won't work. Virginia has a serious Yankee infestation problem. Why? Okay, first of all, why do you have a problem with Yankees and your screen name is Mega? Sir, a Yankee is your hero, sir. Okay? You proudly voted for a Yankee and give him credit for saving all this, whatever you do. So, but then at the same time, you Yankee this, Yankee that. Sir, you're literally worshiping a Yankee. President Yankee. The worst kind, a New York City man. You know, nah, I don't want to ruin that. Never mind. I was about to say something stupid. R.I.P. Roseanne. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I've been pissing them off on Facebook all day. Don't get me started. Augusta is in a bowl, sir. The humidity here stays at 100%. Constantly. It's miserable here. You walk outside and check your mail and come back in, you're covered in sweat. Jalen Hurts to Penn State? Wow, that would be something serious. If I blocked your number, that's because you called up and did something stupid. So admit what you did in the comment section, and we'll see about getting it unblocked, because there's only been one or two people whose number I blocked. There was one day when the trolls kept calling over and over again, and I blocked a couple of their numbers when they was calling and breathing into the phone and stuff. So if your number's blocked, that's why. So admit what you did in the comment section, and we'll see about getting it unblocked. Hot Rod is trash, man. You stupid, man. He's all SEC preseason first team kicker, man. Shut up with that dumb shit. Hot Rod for Heisman. Good morning, President Trump. Welcome to the show, sir. How you like Mark Richt's sign on game day, Uncle Lou Knucklehead? You got to start using some punctuation, man, so we know how to read your sentences, but I don't know anything about a Mark Richt sign on game day. Oh, God, get 2 tubs of ice and stick your feet in it? Man, that would feel good, wouldn't it? It would probably help my ankles and whatnot, too. Man, not hot. Hey, listen. When you're in the garage and it's 130 degrees outside, man, it is hot. Okay? Jared says, Uncle Lou, when do you want me back in as a guest? Anytime, sir. You were just on like 10 minutes ago, though. Or you mean at the beginning of the show? Maybe when we do SEC week or something, we have you on. Man, I love Vidalia onions, man. I eat Vidalia onion like it's an apple, man. I'm not gonna lie. I love those things. Mega, shut up, man. Y'all ain't you don't have a field goal kicker better than Hot Rod, man. Papanostis better than Hot Rod, man. Whatever, man. You smoking something good, man. Who's my favorite NFL quarterback? I like the Georgia guys. So I mean, I like Matt Stafford. I think Deshaun Watson's going to be elite in the NFL. He looked really, really good last year before he got hurt. If he's able to come back healthy like he was before, he could end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion. Check the statistics. Man, don't start with me about that World Cup, man. The World Cup's just getting ready to start up. Now somebody had something on, no, I got an alert on my phone today. Something about the World Cup starting up or whatever, and I got mad, deleted the app off my phone because I didn't want to be reminded again about it. Prediction Network. Uncle Lou, are you sexist and racist? No. Isaiah Mitchell. Someone just said Bama kicker better than Hot Rod. Yeah, he said he was kidding. Michael Vick or Watson? I think Watson has a chance to be better in the NFL than Vick. Is Malik Rozier on your Heisman list? No, the dude is trash. Come on. Malik Rozier is terrible, man. Awful. Barely completes 50% of his passes. He's not any good. Throws way too many interceptions. He's no good. I'm done with the calls for today. I did 2 hours of calls today, but there's a call-in show tomorrow at 3, though. You can call in then. And if you guys like the call-in show this much, we'll do this again on Thursday night, too, instead of doing whatever it is we normally do on Tuesday and Thursday nights. I'll do the call-in thing again on Thursday night. So we'll do it. The call-in show this week, we didn't have it on Monday, so the call-in show this week is Wednesday and Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. and then I'll be back on Thursday night too. So we'll do the call in then too if you want. Trey Bishop, yeah. Sean Watson is the greatest college quarterback of all time. No, he's not. He's elite. He's really, really good. He's not the greatest of all time. Do I think South Carolina will have an NFL defense soon? No. Now, Will Muschamp was able to get an NFL defense at Florida because Florida is swimming in elite high school talent. South Carolina's not. So Muschamp will get a few elite players in there, but he won't be able to stock it up like he did at Florida. No. My opinion on gun control is that we don't have enough of it. Who is Master of Dreams talking to go brush their teeth? I got plenty of people that troll me that aren't mods. You probably on your way to joining them. Yeah, I did want to change the name of the show, but about 90% of the people that I heard from said don't change it. Leave it as the Uncle Lou Show. So I don't know. I don't watch every Funny Mane video, but the ones that get spread around or whatever, you know, I guess like his really big ones that show up on the YouTube homepage or the trending page or that get shared around social media, I see those. Thank you, Mr. Dudley. I appreciate that. Yeah. I might even write your name on it, Mark. You can be the sponsor of Uncle Lou's new homemade air conditioning unit that he's getting in his grandma's basement or whatever this is. Yeah, I left that guy a comment too. I said, "Hey man, I said, I demand that you change the title of this video right now and spell my name correctly so more people can find it." He got mad, man. I only get about 3 hours of sleep as it is now, Clemson fan. I need a way to put more time in a day, especially during football season. This is the slow time, and I feel like I don't ever have enough time in the day to do what I need to do. Prediction Network says, I bet I can throw better with my feet than Jalen Hurts can. Uncle Lou late night show. Yeah, maybe we'll call it a nighttime show, something different. I wanted to change the name. The reason I wanted to change the name, I wanted to put something, I wanted the title to be something related to college football or something, so that maybe more people could find it. Because there's just not enough people. There's not enough people watching these live shows for the amount of effort that I'm putting in, to be completely honest. Lou is the best dual threat QB ever. He's like Lamar Jackson. He's the white chocolate. What happened to the NCAA? The Xbox died. My 360 died. I got to get a new one. I'm glad you found it, Clemson fan. I mean, I am a Georgia fan. I am a Georgia homer. I am an SEC homer, but I make videos on all the. I make a lot of Clemson videos. I make videos on all the big time teams, all 5 of the conferences, and I do talk a lot of trash in the football season. But when it comes to there's certain videos and shows that I do that are like straight legitimate football talk, and then there's other videos that I do that are just straight trash talk. You'll learn the difference between the two pretty quick. But so don't let the trash talk videos run you off. To me, trash talk is just a part of college football. I'd rather not watch college football than watch it and not trash talk about it. So that's sort of what I do here. What happened with the Xbox was last week, Thursday night, I guess it was, I came out here. I told y'all I don't ever play that old Xbox 360 except for the stream for you guys, the football game. So I played it Tuesday night, or whenever I did it last. It worked fine. I came out here like 20 minutes before the show started, turned the 360 on, turned the TV on. I had the message saying, your 360 requires an update, blah, blah, blah. I clicked the button to do the update. It downloaded the update. It said, your system will restart and apply the update. System restarted. It started applying the update. It got about halfway through, and then this error message popped up on the screen about no hard drive found, or no hard disk error or something. The light stayed green on the Xbox though, but I couldn't do anything. It was locked up with that error message. So when I pressed the power button to reset it, it turned red when I pressed the power button. But then it turned right back green again. But now every time I turn it on, I just get that same stupid message about a hard drive or hard disk error. Yeah, Prince, I saw you in the comment section in there, and I was like, oh my God, these dudes are getting murdered. You know what it is? A lot of people, a lot of people who make college football videos don't do the trash talk thing, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. Like, you make a channel, you can do whatever you want. The Oklahoma guy is the same way, RJ Young. And RJ Young is a genius when it comes to college football. Like, the guy knows what he's talking about. He's just not a trash talk guy. And this Miami guy, he's not a trash talk guy either. He I don't really know what he is, but he's not a trash talk guy. And I made the video about, can Miami Hurricanes win the ACC title in 2018? And obvious answer I got at the end of the video was no. And I listed some legitimate reasons why. Like, number one, Clemson is one of the best teams in America. Like, you're not beating them in the ACC title game even if you get there. And then I said, Malik Rozier, I don't think he's a good enough quarterback to get you to that point. I mean, it wasn't even a trash talk video. You guys who have been around for a while and have seen an Uncle Lou trash talk video know that Miami Hurricanes video I did a few days ago, Friday or Sunday, whenever it was. You guys know that was not a trash talk video. And that Miami guy saw the video, and I guess he thought it was a trash talk video, and it upset him a little bit to the point where he had to go and make a video about it. And I had to tell him in the comment section. I was like, look, man, that wasn't even a trash talk video. Like, I told him, I said, if you want me to do a trash talk video about you or Miami or whatever, just say the word, bro, and I'll do it. But that was not a that was not a trash talk video. Yeah, I like RJ, man. And you know what? He's smart, like football knowledge stuff too. But and this really doesn't matter to you guys, or maybe it does, I don't know. But when you have a YouTube channel, like I can watch people's videos and I can tell, like, if they're putting a lot of effort into it. And he puts a lot of effort into his videos. Like, he's not just clicking record on his phone, talking for 5 minutes and then hitting upload. Like, he's got legit editing software. He thinks about what he wants to say. He takes the time and edits his videos when they're like, as somebody who's been doing this for a long time, like, I can appreciate when I see somebody that I know is taking a lot of time, effort, and energy to do their videos, so he knows what he's talking about, and on top of that, he's putting the effort and energy into it to do it the right way. Yeah, Dalton Dennis has that problem. He tends to type in run-on sentences, usually leaving out at least 1 or 2 words, and has no punctuation ever. So it's hard to make sense of a lot of what he types. Yeah, he writes books. He's in a isn't he fixing to get his doctorate degree or something like, or his master's? It's either his master's or his doctorate or something. And you guys know about that contest he won, right? Some beer company, I think it was it Bud Light? I don't remember who it was. Some beer company ran a contest, like submit a video on why we should pay off your college loans or whatever. And he made a video and he posted it to his YouTube channel, you know, and he sent it in, and he won the damn thing. And like the beer company, I mean, I haven't heard anything about it since, but I guess the beer company just paid off his college loans. Dennis Wilson says, Uncle Lou, all the Miami Hurricanes goons want you. What? I'm not hard to find. I mean, they know where to find me. I'll be right here, live on LouTube, just about 7 days a week. I'm not hard to find. Sleeved Biker, the 54-year-old virgin. You got a pretty big mouth for such a little man, bro. I mean, I don't know how much balls you had to have to type that, sir, but, you know, you're welcome to come on over and try to shut it. Prediction Network. I'm 6'3", 180. Should I play corner or wide receiver? I can play both very well. If you can catch, you can play wide. You should play wide receiver. If you can't, you should play corner. I mean, the coach is probably going to make that decision for you based on your hands. That's good size, though. 6'3", 180. Are you in high school? You put another 20 pounds on you, I mean, you'll be perfect. I mean, you good. You're all right. I mean, there's some corners now that are 180, but I mean, you're a perfect size, like D1 size. So I don't know what your ability level is or whatever, but size wise, you have D1 size. Are there any bigger college football YouTubers? Yeah, there's some. Now, I don't think there's any that I don't think there's any that do what I do, but there's there's some that just do like prediction videos, but they're not even on camera, so like it's just a picture of the schedule and them talking or whatever. And then there's a lot of the NCAA 14 channels, and some of those channels are huge, and all they do is upload gameplay videos. And it's usually not even them playing. It's usually just simulated. And they don't do it live. They record it and then just upload it. But there's some channels that do stuff like that. And then there's some parody channels that are really big, especially during the season, and stuff like that. I mean, I'm by no means the biggest college football YouTube channel. There's not very many people. There's not very many people doing college football videos that do it the way I do it, but there's definitely a lot bigger channels than mine. Here Aaron Dawes is back. Isn't he the one that thinks Oklahoma State's winning the national title against Vanderbilt or something? That troll. Space Mountain, good morning, sir. What's going on in Myrtle Beach? Man, that used to be one of my favorite places to go when I was younger, Myrtle Beach. I loved it. I go up there now, I don't even recognize it. It looks so different. Y'all seen that new Star Wars yet? I had to take Lou Jr. to see it yesterday. I thought it was pretty good. Couple of surprises in there. So I think John Franklin III has potential. Potential for what? Not for football. No. No. DJ Fishy 2.0. Tennessee is a good team. They will beat Georgia. Are you new to football or a troll? I can't tell which. Is it bad to have a kid at 19? Never bad to have a kid, but once you have a kid, you got to. I mean, it's the biggest responsibility you'll ever have. Period. So if you make the decision to have a kid at 19, or it's an accident and it happens, you life as you knew it is over, or it should be. Your number one job from that point on, the rest of your life, is to be a dad. Prediction Network. I'm in 11th grade. Oh, okay. Yo, you. I mean, perfect size, man. Could EMCC beat Arkansas? It's possible. I think Arkansas is going to have a rough couple of years, and it's not because of Chad Moore. I like Chad Morris, and I think he can do well in the SEC, but it's going to take him 2 or 3. He pretty much has to turn that entire roster over. The style of offense that he runs, there's not a. The players on Arkansas just aren't built to run that kind of offense, so he's going to have to turn that roster over almost completely. I think he can have some success at Arkansas, but it's not gonna be this year or next year, I don't think. Is Jacob Eason gonna be better at Washington or no? It wouldn't surprise me one bit if Jacob Eason sits out this year like he has to, starts for Washington next year, throws for 4,000 yards, and then is a first-round pick in the NFL the following year. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Yeah, no more calls today. I did 2 hours of calls today. That's enough. But we have a call-in show tomorrow at 3. Call-in show Friday at 3. And we might do the calls again Thursday night at 10. Who's better, Eason or Shermer? Shermer's had more success in college so far than Eason has. Obviously, Eason has more talent, raw ability, and a much higher ceiling than Shermer has, but he needs to prove it on the field. Willie, I keep up with recruiting as best I can. I don't consider myself to be an expert on recruiting, especially this time of year. I devote so much of my time, effort, and energy to current stuff that it wouldn't be fair, I don't think, for me to try to talk about recruiting, because I honestly just don't keep up with it enough. Now, I have 3 or 4 guys on Facebook that I do consider to be recruiting experts, and if I ever have a specific question or something about a certain player, those are the guys I go to, and I trust their information. But now in November, around November is when I really start concentrating on recruiting. So I'll start looking into all the guys and who we're getting and who we're trying to get and all this kind of stuff. And then I do all kinds of live videos around recruiting time. When people do these signing ceremonies or whatever, I always go live and stream those. On both signing days, the one in December and the one in February, I do like 3 or 4 hour streams that day, break down, show as many of the signings as I can, hoot and holler, yell, scream, cry, whatever I need to do. I am an old man, there's no doubt about it. Read option, beep boop. Lou, did you see my email about Butch Jones? When did you send it? Oh, I see. Top 10 misused players under Butch Jones. Yeah, I see that. Lou is 23. I barely remember 23, sir. I barely remember 23. Who has a tougher schedule, Georgia or Alabama? Probably Alabama because they have that Louisville game. And we have Georgia Tech. I don't know, though. They play Auburn, we play Auburn. They play LSU, we play LSU. Who's their next toughest game after that? Mississippi State? And we got to play South Carolina. It's probably pretty close, actually. Yeah, Louisville's not going to be good. I mean, Louisville struggled to win 8-9 games with Lamar Jackson. They'd be lucky to win half that probably without him. I mean, they're going to be back to being about a 500 team probably. Boy, this Aaron Dawes is off the chain. Sleeved biker, come on down to Miami, cuz, so I can spank you out. Don't disrespect my canes. Oh, how about that, buddy? There's your canes right there. The canes suck, man, and their fans suck. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. I talk about Mark Richt a lot or whatever because he was from Georgia. But the worst part about Miami Hurricanes football program, and y'all let me know if I'm wrong here. The worst part about the Miami Hurricanes football program is their fans. Their fans, Miami has the worst fans in college football, don't they? Seriously, right? These fans brag about all this stuff they did back in the 90s. All these home games they won back in the 90s. Right? Brag, brag, brag. They go a few years, right? How long has it been since they've never won the ACC, so, but the last 10 years or so, you watch a Miami game on TV, it's about 5,000-6,000 people there. Like a big game for Miami might have 25,000, 30,000 people. Now last year and then this past season they got a few more because you get excited because you get a new coach there, but that happens all the time. But then you be back to having, how you got 25,000 people at your games, man? That's what it's the Miami fans that are an embarrassment, really, to college football. These bandwagon, no loyalty, and you hear Miami fans talk about it all the time. We loyal. We united and loyal. No, yeah, you're united and loyal if you're winning 9 or 10 games a year. Miami has a couple of bad years. You can't find a Miami fan, man. You look at the Miami game on TV, it looks like a disaster zone. Like the place is cleared out. Nobody in the upper deck, lower deck halfway filled. I mean, just these bandwagon, fair weather, can't sell out a game. For years and years and years in the 2000s, the only Miami home game that would sell out every year was the Florida State game. And why? Because Florida State fans would come down from Tallahassee and buy up all the tickets dirt cheap. They were selling Miami tickets for $6 and $7 a piece on the street a couple of years ago. I mean, that's just embarrassing and sad. Oh, but Lou, well, we have 5 national. You know, I had a Miami fan tell me yesterday on that Miami guy's channel, whatever his channel name, whatever his, I don't even know who, Alonzo something or another. Hey, I had a Miami fan tell me the other day, I'm just mad because Miami's a blue blood program. Huh? Blue blood? Sir, nobody even knew Miami had a football team until about 1988. And yeah, you had about a 15-year period where you were really good. Well, what was going on during that 15-year period? You had Uncle Luke, not Lou, Uncle Luke, and 2 Live Crew, and Nevin Shapiro, and honestly a bunch of gang members disguised as football players, right? All up in strip clubs, buying recruits, showing up at these games wearing Army military fatigues, recruiting these people out of juvenile and YDC and all this kind of stuff, cheating, buying players, strip clubs, yachts, all this kinds of stuff. That was the only time Miami was any good. The whole Catholics versus the convicts thing, that was the only period when Miami was any good. As soon as the program got cleaned up, right? As soon as 2 Live Crew got too old to put 2 rhyming cuss words together, right? As soon as Nevin Shapiro got arrested and thrown in jail, and you guys weren't able to take all these 14-year-old kids to strip clubs, you had grown men down in Miami. You had 35, 40, 50-year-old grown men down in Miami taking these 14, 15, 16-year-old boys to strip clubs just so they would sign with Miami 2-3 years down the road. As soon as all that got shut down, and you had to play by the same set of rules that everybody else in college football was playing by, and you had to join a legitimate conference, the ACC, and get out of that joke Big East basketball conference. Oh, we dominated the Big East, Lou. Miami dominated the Big East, Lou. Congratulations, man, for beating the hell out of Georgetown or whatever the hell. I don't even know the Big East. What even is that? It's not even around anymore, is it? As soon as you all had to join a real conference, the ACC, and as soon as you weren't allowed to cheat and take 14-year-old boys to strip clubs anymore with 2 Live Crew and all like that, as soon as all that happened, what else? You couldn't even win your division. You went 10 years without winning a bowl game. And during that 10-year period, right, you could have dropped a dozen Tomahawk missiles into the Orange Bowl, and you might would have killed 3 or 4 people. I mean, you could buy a seat to the Orange Bowl, and you have the whole section to yourself. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. And if you want to do that on an airplane, you got to pay extra, don't you? If you want to sit in first class so you can have a little bit of extra room, right, in the airplane, you got to pay extra and get your first class ticket. Not at a Miami home football game. For about $6.50, you can get 3 entire rows all to yourself. You can change seats every play, and it won't be no problem. It's literally nobody there. 2 years ago, these buffoons had to played their spring game at a high school stadium. There wasn't but about 24 people there, and half of them was cheerleaders and referees. And even this past year, this past April, last month, 2 months ago, whatever the hell it was, you just had the best year you've had in like 12 years. You finally won your division for the first time ever in the ACC. You're coming off a year where you'd won your first bowl game in 10 years. You make the ACC championship game. You get blown out, though. You make a New Year's 6 bowl game and get the luxury of playing that game in your own home stadium. You get blown out, though. But still, you had your best season you've had in like 10, 11 years. People are excited. The U is back. You know, these people are walking around with plastic turnover change from the dollar store. Everybody's excited, you know. They got their floral print shirts and all this on. Everybody's excited. The Miami spring game. Oh, we're winning it all this year, Lou. Miami is back, Lou. Mark Richt. You never should have got rid of Mark Richt. We're excited, Lou. Lou, the U is loyal and united, Lou. The spring game rolls around in April, and about 9,000 people showed up to watch that thing. 9,000. 9,000. Man, that's pathetic and sad, man. What are y'all doing up there? What are y'all doing up there at the U? Damn Miami. You had 9,000 people How you got 9,000 people showing up at a spring? Georgia had 9,000 people in line to buy a hot dog at any given time at our spring game. Of course, maybe that's probably because we had 80,000 people there, and you went ahead and had 9,000. But don't worry, Miami fans. It doesn't matter. It's all good. You got the football Jesus. He's a nice guy. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Y'all gonna learn the hard way, man. I don't understand. And then Miami fans to make fun of Georgia fans, right? Georgia fans are trying to help you. Georgia fans are trying to help you. Nobody want to watch you flop around for 15 years in mediocrity. Nobody want to watch that. But that's exactly what's going to happen, though. That's exactly what's going to happen. And just like clockwork, here we go, too. Hey, guess what else? Breaking news. Mark Richt won the SEC his second year at Georgia. Won the SEC. Didn't get blown out in the SEC title game. Actually won the SEC title game his second year at the University of Georgia. Second year at Miami, he gets blown out in the ACC title game. So let's contrast and compare here. Year 2, Mark Richt, University of Georgia, goes what? 13-1, wins the SEC. Year 2, University of Miami, well, you go 10-3 and get blown out in the ACC championship game. But I will give you some leeway for the simple fact of Georgia just had way better players than you do. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation, right? Even way back when, in 2002, we had way better players than you have now. So maybe that's why. I don't know what to tell you there. But, I mean, it's like deja vu, you know? It's like, y'all seen that movie, The Matrix? Right? When you have deja vu, it's like, oh, that means somebody changed something in The Matrix. And nobody changed nothing. Georgia fans have seen this movie before at the local theater. Why are we going to drive down I-95 South till it ends in Miami to see it? We've seen it. We know how this movie ends. We're trying to save you the trouble. Do y'all thank us for it? No. Do I get messages from this Alonzo the Clown thanking me for going ahead and saving him years of embarrassment, humiliation, and unnecessary suffering? No. Does Dennis Wilson come in the stream and tell me how much he appreciates me letting him down slowly and not allowing him to get his hopes up unnecessarily about the Miami Hurricanes just so he can have all his hopes and dreams crushed right in front of his eyes? Does he thank me for that? No. No. They get mad about it. Hey. I'm going to keep telling you. Listen, you know what Uncle Lou's going to tell you at the end of every single season? From now until the time Mark Richt's gone, you know what Uncle Lou's going to tell you? The same thing I told you at the end of the last season. The same thing. I told you. These Miami fans, man, I swear to God, they're out of their damn mind. Y'all done got me all damn hot, and instead of talking about how hot it is, and y'all got me out here heated. Now my damn body temperature has probably rose by 10 degrees in the last 10 minutes. If my heart doctor is watching this, I'm probably going to be expecting a phone call in the morning. He's going to tell me I got to take a week off from LouTube now. No, I'm not doing anything. It's just technical difficulties right now. I'm not doing anything. Jesus Christ. That Dennis Wilson can't make one damn comment without a misspelled word in it. Not a single one. Not one. He can't make one comment without a... I mean, I don't see every comment he makes. I don't see every comment anybody makes unless they donate, because then it's highlighted and it sticks to the top of the screen. But every comment I ever see from Dennis Wilson has got misspelled words in it, and it's usually the simplest damn word in a sentence. But he's united and loyal. Yeah, if that Alonzo the Clown got mad about that Miami not winning the ACC video I made, which wasn't even trash talking, wait till he sees what Uncle U has to say. He's liable to his head might pop off his shoulders. Second and 26 don't mean nothing coming from a Miami fan. I don't understand. You're like, Vols do that too for the same reason you do it. They don't have anything of their own to brag about. That's it. So, congratulations. I mean, you want me to send you an Alabama hat? Virginia Tech might win that division this year. Miami might not even win the division this year. That's real talk. They need a running back. They need defensive backs, and they need a quarterback. I love their linebackers. I love Amon Richards, their wide receiver. And I love their linebackers. But they need help at the running back position. They need to find an answer at quarterback. And they got some issues in the defensive secondary. No, what no, I don't remember that. Dabo and the punter in the 2015. What happened with that? Am I forgetting something about that? I might pick Virginia Tech to win that division when I do my preview videos in July. I might pick Virginia Tech. Now, when I do those preview videos, if y'all saw that series of videos I did last year, just so y'all, if y'all don't know, those are not trash talking videos. So I can sit here and go off on Miami for 15, 20 minutes. I may still pick them to win the division when I do those. Those are real prediction videos. Those are straight college football talk videos. Those aren't trash. Now, yeah, I throw a few jokes and jabs in there to make it funny and entertaining. I mean, listen, don't nobody want to see somebody on YouTube pretending like they're on ESPN. I tell people that all the time because people try that on here. Nobody wants to see that. You got to get on here and act like a damn fool. That's the only way anybody's going to watch you, period. You can't get on here and pretending like you're Stuart Scott. That ain't going to work. So even when I do the serious college football videos, I try to crack some jokes and throw some jabs in here and there. But that's as serious as I can get. But don't nobody want to come on here and act like they watching some bootleg sports center. It's about time my heart doctor got a damn account on here. Take a week off from Lou, too. You sound just like him, too. You sound just like him. Probably going to have to try to make me take that damn medicine again. I have to tell him no. Uncle Lou don't take no medicine. Papa Spur says, that's right, keep talking about Carolina. I tried to be nice to Carolina. I made a positive video about South Carolina like, I don't know, a month or two ago. And South Carolina fans got pissed off about it, so I decided that was it. Screw them. I tried to be nice and tell them they was going to win 9 or 10 games. They wanted to cry about it. So, you know, what's that Eminem song? Y'all going to keep fucking around with me and turn me back to the old me? Well, South Carolina fan turned me back to the old me. No more nice videos about South Carolina. That was a compliment video I made. saying South Carolina could go 9-3, possibly even 10-2, and South Carolina fans cried and got mad about it. So y'all done fucked around with me. Now you turn me back to the old me. No more nice videos about the Coots. Forget it. Screw it. I'm good. I'm good, man. Yes, I'm okay, Squid Tard. I'm good. Some of these people mistake kindness for weakness. I try to do something to fill time here in the off season. That's why I'm doing these conference week videos. I'm trying to do real videos here, not trash talking. People talking about all Lou ever does is trash all these other teams. So I say, okay, well, let me try. I try to take a little bit of time here. I'll make some legitimate. I'll do this conference week videos. That'll take up 5 weeks. Then most of July and August, I do the prediction videos. Those are serious. That takes up a lot of time. And then, of course, when the season starts, back to the trash talk. But I was like, then that'll give me most of this offseason. I won't be trash talking. These people can quit crying about all Uncle Lou ever wants to do is trash all these other things. And then these people want to come on here and act like morons. When I made listen to me. South Carolina's been in the gutter for 100 friggin' years. And somebody like me comes on here and says they could go 9-3 or 10-2, and these people get mad about it? Nah, that's fine. That's fine. So, I think it was Eminem said, y'all gonna keep effing around with me and turn me back to the old me, that's fine. Then turn me back. I'll cancel conference. I won't do any more conference week videos. I'll make a week, instead of a week of the ACC or whatever the hell, what conference am I even doing? A Pac-12? Screw it. I'll trash talk South Carolina for a week straight. I'll do a 15-minute video, 5 days in a row, running South Carolina into the ground, and I won't say anything twice. Because believe me, there's plenty of material. And then I'll move on to Miami. And then we'll see. That'll be a couple of weeks, so we'll see who pisses me off between now and then. And then I'll humiliate their team for a week. Hell, I feel sorry. There's Oklahoma fans that have PTSD from the month of December. That 30-day wait between the SEC championship game and the Rose Bowl was the worst thing that ever happened to Oklahoma fans. Some of those morons have PTSD and head trauma and TBI, traumatic brain injury, from watching Uncle Lou videos for 30 days straight. When I don't know. When I hit 10,000 subs, I don't know what I'll do. What should I do when I hit 10,000 subs? I'll get a LouTube tattoo. How about that? Get a LouTube tattoo when I hit 10,000 subs. Y'all tell me what you want me to do. Oh my God, you want to interview the general? On video or just audio? He's beyond help, man. The general's too far gone. On video? Oh God. How long is the interview? Because you gonna make me wear that mask. It's at 150 degrees in my grandma's basement out here. So we'll get together on that. We'll work something out with that road show. Uncle Lou's local pharmacy. I just roasted Dennis Wilson for no reason. I don't need to do it when I hit 10,000 subs. 2 minutes, I can handle that. 2 minutes is about all anybody can stand at a general at a time anyway. People love the general in small doses, though. do a 6 to 8 hour stream. Yeah, I'll think of something. You know, my goal was to hit 10,000 subs before the season started, but it doesn't look like we're going to hit that. But we'll hit it during the season at some point, though. I wanted to hit it before the season starts because then I have time to plan something to do or whatever. When the season comes, everything happens so fast during the season, and I have certain videos that I do every day of the week during the season. It would be hard for me to squeeze something in for 10,000 subs if it happens during the season. So I was hoping it would happen like in July or August, but it's looking like it won't. I can't take no Percocet, man. Name the show. It's hot as hell in here. Emory Morgan, Lou, what SEC team do you think will surprise people this year? Missouri, Mississippi State. I was about to say South Carolina, but screw them. They want to get mad when I say they go 9-3, so screw them. The South Carolina's going 2-10. I think it's possible. I don't think Texas A&M is going to suddenly win 10, 11 games, anything like that. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Texas A&M knock off somebody they're not supposed to beat. That could be Clemson. That could be Alabama. That could be Auburn. That'll be something to keep an eye on. If I could change anything about Georgia football, it would be the entrance song. That Bob O'Reilly BS is old, played out. Nobody likes it. The only people that like that song is white males who are 55 or over. I mean, there's nothing exciting about it. There's nothing up-tempo about it. It's just an old, dry, dusty song that literally nobody cares about. Cavs in 7. I say Golden State in 6. Play the Nelly song. It's getting hot in here. McGregor's Ghost. I know the pieces fit. Yeah, Tool's new album is really almost coming out, and they really mean it this time. I'm serious. I know it's been 100 years they've been saying that, but it really is. It's about 7 months away. It should be out towards the end of this year or beginning of 2019. There's 7 songs on it. Every single song is over 10 minutes long. I can't wait. Whenever that CD comes out, and they said it's going to get released digitally too, which if you follow Tool, you know none of their stuff has ever been released digitally. But they said they're going to release the new one digitally. So whenever that comes out, if it comes out at midnight or whatever it is, I'm going to do a stream the minute that thing comes out, and I'm just going to stream the entire album. My thoughts on the new college football game in 2020 is wait and see. It's not going to be – it's just a blank football game. There's no colleges in it. There's no players in it. There's no teams in it. There's no mascots in it. You literally have to create everything yourself. The game ships basically blank. And everything – everything is user created. So, I mean, that's basically what you have now already with NCAA 14, except you don't have to create the teams and the mascots. They're already in the game. All you have to do is create the players. With this new game, you have to create everything. The stadiums, you got to design the stadiums to look like the stadiums you want them to look like. You got to design your team's helmet to look like the team you're trying to replicate. I mean, the whole deal. You got to do it all yourself. The new Star Wars was okay. For somebody like me, an old man, 40, I mean, the original Star Wars movies were coming out when I was a kid. So that, I grew up watching those Star Wars movies. So for me, it was cool to see, like, the story of Han Solo, a younger Han Solo. You always hear Han Solo in all the Star Wars movies talk about how the Millennium Falcon made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. That's a famous line from Star Wars. Well, in this movie, it actually shows him doing that. So little stuff like that makes the movie a lot better if you've been a fan for a really long time. If you're sort of a new Star Wars fan, then stuff like that means nothing to you. So, it's different depending on your age. No, Notre Dame fans will not invade Sanford Stadium in 2019. I mean, there'll be some Notre Dame fans there, no doubt, but it won't be 50% like it was when we went to Notre Dame. I mean, half that stadium was red when we played Notre Dame last year. Notre Dame might have 10 or 15,000 fans there, but the other 75,000 will be Georgia fans. No, I do not like Teenage Wasteland, no. Is that true? Eminem and Nicki Minaj are dating? Why? That's dumb. Why would he stoop down that low? No, Vandy cannot keep it close with Notre Dame, I don't think. I think Notre Dame win by 2 or 3 scores. No, I don't find it interesting that Josh Dobbs beat Nathan Peterman. I think Josh Dobbs was better. Miami's nowhere near a blue. Anybody that thinks Miami is a blue blood program doesn't know the definition of a blue blood program. You can't be a blue blood program if you've only been good since the 90s. That's not what a blue blood program is. It's just showing how little Miami fans actually know about college football when people all over that Alonzo the Clown's channel are sitting there trying to tell me that Miami is a blue blood program. That proves every theory that I had about Miami fans, which is that they just don't know anything about college football. Roseanne is canceled, so forget about it. It doesn't matter anymore. I liked it. I thought it was a good show. That's the only sitcom. That's the first sitcom I've watched on TV in probably 10 years. Was that new Roseanne show? I liked it. But she's an idiot. She should have known what was going to happen when she tweeted that. I mean, anybody that tweets that and then acts surprised when what happened is an idiot, and that includes Roseanne. I mean, I never liked Roseanne, but I'm not one of these idiots who just because I don't like somebody's politics means I can't enjoy their entertainment. Like these conservative snowflakes who won't see a movie. I'm not watching Oscars. I'm not seeing any more movies. These people in Hollywood said something mean about Donald Trump, so I'm not watching any more of their movies. And this music singer type person said something mean about Donald Trump. I'm not listening to them anymore. That's retarded, man. Retarded. Separate your politics from your entertainment, man. Why are you're punishing yourself? These people don't care. I promise you they don't care. Nobody cares, man. These singers or whatever, they say something bad about Trump. They don't care about you. They don't care about whatever fake boycott you're pretending to do on Facebook. I promise they don't care. No, I don't think Justin Fields will start unless Fromm gets injured. I think he'll play in every game, though. A blue blood program is an old time, one of these college football programs that has been good for decades. Decades. Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Southern Cal, Alabama, those teams. Not like who's good like just now, like recently. Clemson's not a blue blood. Like Clemson's one of the best programs in America right now. Clemson's not a blue blood program. I mean, the blue blood programs are the old school, you know, the programs that have been around for 100 years and have been winning in multiple decades over the last 100 years. Like I said, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Southern Cal, Texas, Alabama. I mean, the top of the top. Alonzo something, Papa Spur, is the Miami fan that got butthurt and made a crying video about Uncle Lou. Tennessee's probably Tennessee would be a blue blood program before Miami. Yeah, Georgia's a blue blood program. Georgia's top 10 in wins all time. Miami's 46th in wins all time. Miami has a losing record in bowl games. Miami is not a blue blood program. Tennessee's blue blood. Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Southern Cal. Not Miami. Literally nobody knew Miami had a football team until like 1991. Miami's a blue blood program. I mean, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Florida's not a blue blood program. And Florida's been a blue blood program has nothing to do with how good you are right now. So if any Florida fan gets mad because I say Florida's not a blue blood program, then they're just as dumb as Miami fan. You just don't understand what a blue blood program is, okay? Florida was absolutely horrible until about 1992. I mean, god awful. Well, why do you think Georgia still owns the all-time series over Florida? Everybody knows Florida's dominated Georgia from pretty much the 90s up till present day. So what is that, a 28-year period? Florida's pretty much dominated Georgia. Isn't Florida like 20-6 against us in the last 26 games? But we still dominate them in the all-time series. Why? Because they were terrible from 1906 to 1991. I mean, absolutely awful. They're not a blue blood program. They've been an elite program at times in the 90s and the 2000s, but they're not a blue blood program. The Crips are a blue blood program. You're right, Dennis. I don't know anything about football. I've made 1 million hours worth of videos in the last 4 years on YouTube about college football, and I've made every bit of it up. I mean, I don't really understand why someone would get mad if someone said their team isn't a blue blood program, because it's got nothing to do with how good you are right now. Nothing. I mean, it just does. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you're right, Squidtar. Georgia Tech would have more of an argument of being a blue blood program than Miami would. You're 100% right. Boise State has second best winning percentage in the NCAA since joining the FBS. I can believe that, actually. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, like, I don't understand these people who think, like, it's like when people don't have anything to say to me, like Tennessee fan. What can a Tennessee fans possibly say to me? Or a Florida fan. I mean, we beat the hell out of those two teams. And so they type the same thing every time. 1980. 1980 ain't got nothing to do with 2017. Like, yeah, 1980 was a great year. Georgia dominated, undefeated, greatest player in college football history. Won the national title. A great year. I don't understand why people think that typing in 1980 makes Georgia fans mad. It's ridiculous. It don't make no sense. And then I caught a Tennessee fan good today too. I love it when they step in a pile of their own steam and shit. And I was able to get a Tennessee fan to do that today. A Tennessee fan was all on Facebook talking about their basketball team today. And I had to go ahead and tell him, I said, man, shut up about that basketball team, man. Y'all hadn't even won the SEC tournament since the 1970s. You're irrelevant. He gonna tell me, yeah, but the 1970s don't have anything to do with the fact about how good we are right now. I said, thank you, because this same guy who said that is one of these people that types 1980 in all the time. I said, thank you. Thank you. Remember that next time you go to type in 1980, ain't got shit to do with now. Now we beat you 41-0. I don't just type in 1980, man. It makes people mad. No one cares about the name 1980. And then Tennessee fans will say, "Oh, but we won a national title in '98. Georgia ain't won one since 1980." Yeah. Did that national title in 1998 help Tennessee go 0-8 this year? I mean, come on, get real, man. Get real. There's not a single recruit anywhere in America that was alive the last time Tennessee even won the SEC. So what I don't understand why you think 1980 is some sort of insult against Georgia. I mean, you're making yourself look like a retard. Nate Peters, that's going to be a very popular preseason pick, Georgia versus Bama in the SEC title game. I think those are the two clear-cut favorites there. I think Auburn has a pretty good team, but the fact they have to play Georgia and Alabama on the road in a 3-week period, it's just not going to end well for Auburn. Eagle says I should make a diss track for that Miami. I don't like making videos that are directed specifically at a certain person. And the reason I don't like doing that is because I don't have any limits. And I tend to go too far when I do that. So when I make videos like that, I try to stick to football. Now, yeah, I will make a little meme or something like I did with the Miami guy. Did y'all see that? I know a lot of y'all don't watch all the videos, but at the very end of yesterday's video, I had that Alonzo clown on there, and I put hearts over his eyes, and that song was playing. Did I ever tell you you're my hero or whatever? So I'll do stuff like that. But as far as like making a video where I just clown that guy for 5 or 6 minutes, which I could easily do, I could body that guy, no problem. I don't like doing that because I tend to take things too far because I don't have any limitations. So I try to keep it football related. It's not always easy to do that. And sometimes I slip up or whatever, but I try to keep it football related when I'm humiliating people. Mark Fox, the Dark Knight trilogy is one of probably the best superhero series of all time. Those 3 Dark Knight movies are amazing. I already pretty much made that video, Squid Tar, when I did my top 5 favorite coaches video, and I had like Butch Jones, Gus Malzahn, Paul Johnson. I forget who all I had on there, but that's pretty much what that video was. That was only about a month ago I made that video. It's always funny to me when somebody that lives their life in a YouTube comment section, Dennis Wilson, calls somebody a pussy and says they're running, you pussy running from Miami fans, ha ha ha. Meanwhile, your entire life, sir, is lived in the Uncle Lou comment section. I'm on video every day of the year. So you tell me, sir, out of those two people, which one you think is a chicken shit and which one isn't. You should have said, hey, Tyler. He'll ban himself, John, once the season starts and Miami loses to a couple of 500 teams. He'll be gone. Nah, ain't no need to put him in timeout. He's just embarrassing himself. Let him keep it up. He might as well keep doing it. I met a lot of people up there that day at the spring game. I had a good time. It's funny, too, because I always talk about Miami fans being bandwagon. You know, they only like Miami when they're good. One of the biggest bandwagon. Miami fans are a lot like Alabama fans, right? They only come around when they're good. And they can be for like how many there's so many Alabama fans I know that live in Tennessee or even Georgia or Florida, right? They're only Alabama fans now because they're good. And I say that about Miami fans all the time. And then here comes this Alonzo the Clown. Guess where this guy's from and where this guy lives? Guess where this Alonzo the Clown, super Miami fan, guess where he's from and guess where he lives? New York City. Yeah, Tyler, there's nothing like the spring game, man. I'm telling you, I've been to dozens of real games, and I love them. It's not that I don't like real games. I love going to real games too, but there's nothing like the experience of a spring game. It's totally different. I mean, it's so much fun. Hey, Landon, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Um, Believe it or not, I don't hear that very often. You know, I hear from people all the time when they're mad about something, but I don't get too many comments or messages like that. So I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, I grew up in Richmond County in Augusta, but I live in Evans now, out in Columbia County. Brinson, good morning. What's up, buddy? I haven't heard anything about the new rule with headsets, Willie. You'll have to tell me about that. I hadn't heard about that. I don't know what y'all keep. I see all these comments about Despacito. I have no idea what that is. Nicholas Curring, you live 50 minutes away from me. You must live in Evans too, or what? Grovetown, Appling, Harlem, somewhere around there. Augusta, something like that. Philip Huang is here. Good morning, sir.
Huh?
Oh, North Augusta. Okay, my brother lives in North Augusta. He lives in Lakes and Streams. Is that the name of that neighborhood? I think that's the name of it, Lakes and Streams. Oh. Yeah, I'll pick at least one game this year, Space Mountain, and I will go to, I'll probably, you know what, I might do the Georgia Tech game. No, you know what, I'm going to be out of town the weekend of the Georgia Tech game. Last year I did the Georgia Tech game at Wild Wing. I'll pick a game and go to Wild Wings. I'll announce it in plenty of time, ahead of time, here on YouTube and on Facebook and Twitter and all that. But yeah, I'll do that. That was fun. Last year. I'll do that again. Darth, I liked Solo. I was telling somebody a minute ago, there's a lot of like throwbacks to the early movies and stuff like that. So a lot of these younger people, you know, don't get a lot of that stuff, like you know, making the Kessel run in 12 parsecs. I guess you've seen it, Darth, but you know, I kind of knew or hoped. Okay, I said, okay, they're making a young Han Solo movie. I knew they would show like how he got the Millennium Falcon and all that, but I was like, I hope they at least bring up or talk about or whatever doing the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, because they talk about it all the time in the original Star Wars movies. And so I thought it was cool that they actually showed that in the movie, him doing the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. But stuff like that, you don't really care about stuff like that unless you're old like me and have been watching the movies for 40 years, I guess. I might try to go to the game at Tennessee. I can get Tennessee tickets every year for the Georgia game, home and away. I can get them free. So I might try to go to the game at Tennessee next year. Yeah, that's what I heard, Darth, and you can kind of tell by the way this one ends that they're looking to do more with it. Miami wasn't that good in the 80s, but I think you're thinking in the 90s, but yeah, I know what you mean. I've never got it's not a surprise to me that Philip Huang prefers Star Trek to Star Wars. Star Trek is the more nerdy of the franchises. Yeah, that's what I mean, Darth. At the end, when they show that he's the guy that's giving the orders or whatever, I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna. I can see where this could lead somewhere. Orange or apple juice? Orange juice for sure. I'm not a big apple juice drinker at all. I'm not a fan of apple juice. The Miami 2001 team was one of the best college football teams of all time. Not the best, but top 10. Emory, I agree. I think 7-5 is a stretch for Tennessee this year, but possible, but a stretch. Waffle House, and it's not even. Don't even get me started on this rant again. I done got heated about this before. I think you need to choose one breakfast place and disown the rest. I can't stand people who eat at Waffle House and Huddle House and IHOP. You need to pick one and be loyal to it. To me, that's almost as bad as being a two-teamer. It's like rooting. It's like saying I'm a Georgia fan and a Alabama fan or something. No, you can't be both. Pick one. And the same thing. Go to Waffle House and forget the others even exist. I'm not doing a 24-hour stream today. Man, congratulations, Philip Huang, on getting that key, man. You definitely earned it, man. You definitely deserve it. I put Shoney's in a different category than I do IHOP. To me, there's different. Okay, you have IHOP, Waffle House, and Huddle House. To me, are all in the same category of restaurant, and you need to pick one of those three and disown the other two. Shoney's, I would put in the category with like Denny's and Cracker Barrel, and you should pick one of those and stick with it. I have two cats. Yeah, they're actually both my daughter's cats, but there's two cats here. Albert the Gator says he's a Waffle House guy. Waffle House right down the street. There's probably, I'm not even exaggerating right now. There is, I bet you I'm within 20 minutes of 10 different Waffle Houses right now. Best college football team of all in my lifetime is that Nebraska team from what year was that? Was that 95? I think it was 95, mid-90s. Nebraska team is probably the best college football team in my lifetime. Best anime? I couldn't even name one. I know none. I don't even know any. Never seen it. I don't, just no interest in it. So I definitely can't name the best one. I can't even name one in general. Oh, Landon, everybody has a friend like that, man. Everybody has at least one friend like that, right? They're a Patriots fan, a Warriors fan, an Alabama fan, a Yankees fan. Everybody's got a friend like that, man. There's some interesting conspiracy theories about the Mattress Firm thing. I'm not going to get into it because the tinfoil hat is right there, but I don't feel like walking over there to get it, so I'm not getting into the conspiracy theory thing right now, but you can Google it. There's some interesting theories out there. Yeah. Yeah, nothing good happens at the Waffle House after 12 or 1 o'clock. Hey Lou, I could be going to Squidtard School next year. What do you think about that? That's cool. Tyler, you're like the third person this week that I've talked to either on here or somewhere else on social media that's a Georgia fan and is in a relationship with a Tennessee fan. I've known people like that before. It's just kind of weird. It's like the third time in the last few days I've ran into somebody like that. Haven't heard from Miami since then either, Dennis. Haven't heard from either one of you since then. So just to remind you of that. Dalton says he likes shopping at Walmart late at night. A funny story, kind of. Mrs. Lou and Luann go on a lot of weekend trips for Luann's dance competitions that she's in, and me and Lou Jr. will stay here. And anytime they go out of town on one of those trips, it's on the weekends. Me and Lou Jr. always go to Walmart at like 11:30 at night. Like, he stays up because he knows, like. And I forget how it even started, but now it's just like, even if we don't need anything, we go, and I buy him some candy or some cheap toy or something. I don't even remember how it started, but it's like a tradition now. Every time Mrs. Lou and Luann go on one of their weekend trips, he knows we're going on a late night trip to Walmart. He calls it the midnight run. He goes, "Dad, we gotta make the midnight run." He calls it Wally World. We got to make the midnight run to Wally World. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Darth. I didn't know that, man, and I don't know. I don't know if it was an unexpected thing or if it was something y'all knew was coming or whatever, and it's none of my business either way. But that's awful, man. I'm lucky enough to still have both my parents, so I can't imagine what that's like. But I sure hate to hear that, man. It's hard to get monetization now, Squid Tard. You know they changed all the rules around. Don't you have to have 1,000 hours of watch time now? Tyler, no. When I go, I get as close as I think I can get to the stadium, and I just pay whatever it is. I usually end up paying $20 or $25, and it sucks. I hate it, but I can't stand. But by the time I drive to Athens and get there, I'm ready to park and get out of my car and walk somewhere. I can't stand to ride around for 30 minutes trying to save $5 or $10 on parking or whatever. I can't stand it. So I have a couple of like places that I know that, like, okay, these places usually have a spot or whatever. But it's $20-$25, whatever it is, and I just sort of factor that into the cost of going every time, because I'm not one of these people. Once I get there, I'm ready to be there and get out of the car. I can't stand just driving around looking for somewhere to park, trying to save $5 or something. Oh, at G-Day, I didn't pay to park. No. And I parked 2 blocks from Sanford Stadium, but I got up there real early too. But most places don't charge to park on G-Day. Emery, I'm not hitting 1 million subs. And if I do, that's a long that would be so. I have no clue. I have no idea. I'll be happy as hell when I hit 10,000. All right, Landon. thanks for stopping by the stream tonight, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. An S. Glover tattoo at 50 million. Jared, I'm just going to be honest. I probably won't ever make a Vanderbilt fan. And the reason is right now, there's just not enough Vanderbilt fans that watch LouTube to make it worth doing it, really. So probably not. I mean, things can always change. Well, let me say this. If I make a Vanderbilt fan, it will be years down the road, because I can't add more than 1 or 2 of those super fan characters a year, because it's not easy to do, because I have to develop a certain type of voice or rhythm to my speech, and a certain look, and a backstory, and figure out, okay, who is this person? Where do they work? What's their stick? You know, what's the whole thing? And that's not easy. I'm obviously not an actor. I mean, I don't have to. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. So it's not easy for me to come up with these characters. So I'm only able to create 1 or 2 a year, and so probably not going to see a Vanderbilt fan for a while. Who will win the SEC first, South Carolina or Tennessee? I'd probably, I mean, I'd have to say Tennessee, even though they're in the toilet right now. I mean, South Carolina's never won it, and I honestly can't see that changing. Favorite pizza topping? When I order a pizza, if it's just me, if I get to choose what I want on it, it's pepperoni, onions, and bell peppers. That's my favorite pizza. Pepperoni, onions, and bell peppers. I have young kids here, you know. You ever try to get 4 or 5 people to agree on a pizza? What ends up happening usually? You just get a pepperoni, and that's usually what ends up happening here. Now, sometimes, we'll get 2, like one just pepperoni, which the kids will eat, and then 1 with the other stuff on it. That me and Mrs. Lou will eat. Or I can get Lou Jr. to eat some of the other stuff that's on it sometimes, too. I've never been able to do the pineapple on the pizza. People call that the Hawaiian pizza or whatever. I've never been able to. It just doesn't sound good to me. Yeah, Lou Jr. talks about all you guys that watch his streams and leave him comments and stuff like that. And I've told y'all before, but I mean, I'll tell y'all again since you're bringing it up now. But I really appreciate y'all doing that. Y'all are a lot older than him. You know, he's 8 years old, so it blows his mind when he streams a video game or posts a video or something, and somebody leaves a comment or shows up on his live stream and tells him hey or something like that. He thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, and so I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that every once in a while. It really means a lot to him. Best pizza place out of Papa John's, Little Caesars, Domino's, and I'm a Domino's guy. I would go out of those 4. I would go Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and then Little Caesars. But even though I put Little Caesars last, I will admit we eat a fair amount of Little Caesars here because it's just so cheap and easy, and it's the closest to our house. There's one right up the road, so a lot of times in the evenings, if we don't have time to cook, or like if Lou Jr. has soccer and all this stuff in the evenings, and Luann has dance classes and gymnastics classes on different days of the week. So there's some nights if everybody's got different things going on and we don't have time to cook a dinner or whatever, a lot of times we'll end up going through the drive-through up there at that Little Caesars and getting a couple of pizzas and a breadstick and a 2-liter or whatever. So we probably eat more Little Caesars than we do any of those 4 that you named, but it's my least favorite on that list there. Yeah, Lou Jr. is my son. Yeah, he's 8. Is he 8? Hell, I don't know. I think he's 9. He's 9. He just turned 9 in January. He turned 9 in January. So yeah, he'll be in 4th grade next year. How about this, Luann? My daughter has her first date on Friday. I can't believe it. She just got this boyfriend or whatever. She's only in the 5th grade, so I guess her and this boy liked each other or something all year, but you know, they're only in 5th grade, and so they're too shy. They're both scared to do anything about it. So like on the last day of school, like the boy finally said something to my daughter about it, so they became boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever and exchanged phone numbers. And so they've been texting over the weekend, and he sent her a message today saying he wants to take her to Olive Garden Friday night. And so I was like, well, I don't know, we'll see. I was like, is there any way we can talk to, we had to talk to his parents or whatever. So anyway, we get in touch with the kid's parents, talk to him tonight. And the son actually, the little boy, saved up his allowance money. And that's how he's taken Luann out to eat at Olive Garden with his own money. I mean, the parents are going, obviously, they're in 5th grade. So I'm going to take her over to their house Friday at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, meet the kids' parents and all that. And then the parents are going to take them to Olive Garden, but they're going to have their own table at Olive Garden. The parents are going to be there, but they're going to be at a different table, and the kids will be at a table, and they're going to do their date or whatever at Olive Garden, and then the parents are going to bring them back home here. But she's so excited. I mean, it's her first time ever doing anything like this. I mean, she's gone places with other girls from her class, like spend the night parties or swimming parties and birthday parties, but she's never done anything like this with a boy before. So she's all excited, and like tonight she made Mrs. Lou go in her room, and she wanted to already pick out her outfit and everything she was going to wear on Friday, and she found a picture on her phone of the way she wants her hair done on Friday, and then she didn't have any shoes to wear. I mean, she's in 5th grade and she's acting like she's 25. So now she needs a new pair of shoes tomorrow that she can wear with her with the dress that she's wearing. And I'm just like, I can't believe I'm having to deal with this already. 5th grade and she's going on a date. What 5th grader goes? That's what I said. I was like, I don't know about this boy, Natalia. Olive Garden's not a very good. I hate Olive Garden. I can't stand. To me, Olive Garden is like the fast food of Italian restaurants. I think the food. I don't like it. I think the food is horrible. There's just nothing. I can't stand. I would rather not eat than eat the Olive Garden. And if for some reason I have to go there, like somebody's having something and they're like, oh, everybody's going to Olive, and I have to go, all I eat is a salad from there. Everything else is just horror. I can't stand it. Do I think Georgia's going to be as good this year as last season? I think my initial sort of thoughts on it are that the defense probably won't be quite as good, but that the offense might be a little bit better. I know we lose Chubb and Michelle, but we're not hurting for running backs. Fromm has a year of experience under his belt now, and I think our offensive line is going to be one of the best in the SEC. So we're going to go from having one of the worst offensive lines the last couple of years to now having one of the best. We also get all our receivers back except for Javon Wims. So you got Godwin, McCole Hardman, Ridley will be back. We got a couple of young guys we haven't seen yet, Matt Landers, Jeremiah Holloman. So I think our passing game will be better, and I'm still confident in the running backs we have with DeAndre Swift, Zeus, James Cook, Harry, and Holyfield. So I think the offense will be a little bit better, even if the defense can't make up for the loss of Roquan Smith and Lorenzo Carter and David Bellamy and those guys. I do like Firehouse subs. I like Subway better, but if I ever want a hot sub, I go to Firehouse. But maybe a couple of times a year I go there. I usually go to Subway. Oh, Cedartown, nice. Have you seen him up there? Well, you say you're leaving. I guess he's gone now. I was wondering how much time he still spends there, if any. But thanks for stopping by, Nolan. I appreciate it. And next time you're on, say hey to me. I'd love to ask you some stuff about Cedartown and Nick Chubb. But I'm gonna end the stream though. It's way too long. It's been almost 4 hours. But this was a good one tonight though. I had a good time. Thanks to everybody for joining, everybody in the comments section. I really appreciate you guys showing up and talking football with me when I do these live videos. This is a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing this. During the week or whatever, I look forward to doing these live videos. Sometimes with the videos that I just record and post or whatever, those are the most popular videos. Sometimes that almost feels like a chore to do those. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's hard for me to get excited about those, but I always enjoy these. I always look forward to and enjoy doing these live videos and talking football and just whatever else, life in general with you guys. I know I talk a lot of trash and give some of you a hard time, even you, Dennis. But I do enjoy talking with you guys about all the stuff we talk about on here, college football and everything else. So thanks to everybody for stopping by the stream tonight. I really appreciate it. Today's Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll have the call-in show at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday night, we'll have another one of these shows. And then Friday, we'll also have a call-in show at 3 o'clock Eastern. And I'll also have the rest of the Pac-12 videos out. I'm probably going to do like I did last week with the ACC, and I will probably end up skipping a day during the week on the posted video. So like tomorrow, for example. I may skip tomorrow since I'm up so late tonight with this live stream. So I might not post a Pac-12 video tomorrow, but then I'll make it up over the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So you'll still get your 5. There will be still 5 Pac-12 videos total for the week. And then after that, there's only 2 conferences left to do, right? The Big Ten and the SEC. Probably do the Big Ten next week and save the SEC for last, unless something happens to change my mind. And, yeah, that's it. So I appreciate it. If for some reason you're here and you're not subscribed, please do it. Do me a favor, share at least one Uncle Lou video a day with your friends. Don't be selfish. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers, and I promise I'll do something stupid for you people. I don't know what yet, but I promise I'll do something stupid when I get 10,000 subscribers. So help me do it by sharing some Uncle Lou videos. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night and an even better morning also. And 2. Beep-a-dee.